כן, זה גם לא נעים fin meaningful people. You can make me drink bean. Okay. Why the Orthodox Jewish world is becoming financially unstable. Two Sparkle, Shimmy. Hello and welcome. 29,000 views one day ago. Let's get into it.
Class is getting killed, honestly. I don't know if there's a ton of controversy here. Maybe a little bit.
It's going to be controversial.
Someone who's making $200,000 can be considered low income.
A month, they're not saving a lot of money, and that's the good situation. It's not expensive coffee. It's not even like eating out. It's the big expenses like Yom Tov and camp. Camp is a big one.
Financial advisor Moshe Alpert has spent over a decade helping frum families stay afloat, while Shmuley Hartstein, founder of B'Sefer Chaim, has seen firsthand what happens when the system fails. Together, they break down why so many middle-class frum families, people who are earning two or
even the sounds, the trying to make so dramatic. Jede Sache is dramatic. Family Weissman. Hello and welcome. How was you?
$300,000 a year still feel like they're drowning. They talk about the crushing cost of tuition, Yom Tov, camp, seminary, from credit card debt to the illusion of wealth. They ask the questions no one wants to face. Has the middle class and the
one salary, the money for the family.
Everything's just
based
on okay.
To this episode, I mean, do this joy.
Literally, I think Pesach, I ran panels in the hotel, and I have start off, get there at Pesach, everyone's ready for a very, very controversial conversation. But I don't know if there's a ton of controversy here. Maybe a little bit. What do you think?
Depends on
where
you.
we go. Okay.
It's going to be controversial.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good clip.
I mean, my wife warned me with my life, no controversy today. So
Well,
let's see what happens.
I have a shed if you need a place to stay.
Yeah, for what? For how long?
However long you need.
You can stay in my house.
Okay. Alrighty. So, welcome. Boy of introduction. I have Moshe Alpert over here from Ceramian Financial. You've been a financial advisor, planner for how many years?
11 years.
11 years in the industry, sitting with couples, helping them navigate finances. And I have to my right, Shmuley Hartstein, who many of you maybe know by now of B'Sefer Chaim fame, someone who spearheaded an organization to get people to just get life insurance. And we're going to have a conversation today about finances in the frum world. And we're going to, hone in and focus a little bit on the middle class. I personally believe, and I'm going to, ask you guys what you think. I personally believe that the middle class is getting, killed, honestly. The amount of money that they're making versus what they need to spend versus the taxes versus the lack of perks and benefits that maybe some other classes may get. Moshe, I'll start with you. If you can give me, in your estimation, the status right now of where you see the middle class in Klal Yisrael, and be very clear in defining what that is.
So first thing I would say is,
welche middle class, meaning welche Yiddish is retter fin? Because macht a riesige Chilik.
that what is very surprising is that the middle class is actually high income earners in the non-Jewish community. So I've defined the middle class as making $250,000 to $300,000 a year. And what makes things very difficult is, like you said, they don't have the perks or the benefits. They're not making a ton of money. And the biggest problem that comes out from all of that, living the expensive lifestyle and everything that we have, is a lot of credit card debt.
Well, I guess define for me what we're not going to call it low class. What is it? It's low class. We mean that in the financial terms: a low class, middle class, high class.
Low income.
Yeah, low income, middle, and high. What are those? So you said 250 and up is middle. What's low and what's high?
250. Camera's out of focus. Yeah, for some reason my camera. Ja, ich weiß, I'm still playing around with my camera. My camera, something is up with se connect nicht etwas zu my camera. So I have that going for me. Oh well, we darf ein kennen von dem Fall. Let's get into it.
I would say up to 200 is lower income. Sounds
200,000 is low income.
crazy when I say it, but that's
Yes.
lower income.
Maar ook wat is bij de indroostende geweld, besides van Jiden? Wat zijn de numbers in de indroostende geweld?
And higher?
And higher income is 450, 500.
Okay.
There's a gray areas in between, but that's the range. Up to 200 would be lower income. After that, up to 400, 350 even would be middle class, I would say. And then after that would be living comfortably.
400,000, 500,000 is living comfortably in Zamar of Tzuras.
Would you agree, Shmuley, with that like those guardrails are like that's what middle class is at 250?
I don't. I'm not. I think a lot of it depends also family size, right? I'm saying if somebody makes $150,000 and he has one kid, right? So what are we talking about? We got to put it into context.
Right.
That's an important. But I never really sat down and crunched numbers. I'm more living in life.
Yeah.
Right. And the truth is that we don't really know what a lot of people make. And a lot of people fake it till they make it. And
Make it where though?
right. So again, I don't know. Some people say 180, 200, 220, he's the expert.
Well, it's a great point you're making.
Right.
It's a great point. Family size. So I should have mentioned like 3 to 4 children is normal, like as far as that stage. So 3 to 4 children and, 250 to 300, But that's,
Okay, so-
family size is a big piece of it.
You mentioned that someone who's making $200,000 can be considered low income in the frum world. And you also mentioned
En deze is alles, ik red vind in de Hasidische wereld. Ik weet niet welke wereld zij redden vinden. En deze is alles uneducation. Crazy.
that in world at large, that is maybe higher. That is like that's not even middle. That's even perhaps higher earners. I guess give me the state of the union of the middle class right now, what they're experiencing and why you think it's such an important conversation.
So the middle class, I would say the two extremes, I would say on a simple level, most middle class people are not living comfortably. Like they're tight month to month. They're not saving a lot of money. And that's the good situation. But a lot of middle class...
En ich meine, das alles stimmt für nicht geben gehörige Geld. Financial education. Meaning, wir sind buchen in Yeshiva, and all of a sudden, hat man Chasana, man geht da voraus in der Welt, und man sagt, Guy, du hast eine Family, die müssen machen Geld. Wie, wo, wenn, wieso?
are in credit card debt because they just don't have enough to pay.
Darf man ook het vragen de kasha? Van hoe spenden ze de geld? Why do they feel the need of spending that money?
Pay for the expenses that we have. Those are the two extremes. Again, they're not living comfortably, but at least they're not in debt. That's a big piece. And then there's another big piece where...
Maar had nog eens bij de solution leven. De solution er nog eens doen. Kun je niet meer redden van de problem?
They're in debt.
Right. And when you sit with a couple who's falls into that category, what are those main expenses, those big items that are just, they can't get, past?
Yeah, this is the thing. It's not expensive coffee. It's not even like eating out. It's the big expenses like Yom Tov and camp. Camp is a big one. That's one that throws a lot of people off. Summer expenses are what really causes people to go into debt. And Yom Tov.
Why have CCs? Because man kann nicht dadurch machen de Jahr. Just imagine, ein Mensch macht $250,000 a Jahr und kann nicht dadurch machen de Jahr. It's crazy.
They're traveling or paying for Yom Tov. Yom Tov could cost $3,000 to $5,000 a family.
I imagine yeshiva tuition.
And and tuition is like one salary. So like with a non-Jewish family, $200,000 makes sense because that's a full salary without any tuition. They're not buying $1 million homes and even lower, not necessarily fancy communities. And they don't have a lot of children. So that's what I'm referring to. Why, by us, low income is really high income.
Right. And you had mentioned, and I think this will get the ball rolling on this conversation a bit, but you had mentioned that you don't think someone who is in the middle class can...
The problem, Sam zoekt invest. The problem with investing, Also man hat nicht den Cycle. Man hat nicht den Cycle. Ich sehe es, wenn man, du weißt, die Tube, wenn einer macht a Cake man darf machen a shiny decoration, like man daran custard in, oder whatever they filling in die Tube, und man quetscht das heraus. Also hat man getan mit jedem. Man legt jedem an, und jeder muss machen Geld. Und ja, Menschen fangen nur machen Geld, und noch muss man sich connecten zu den Neighbor, und man muss so, man muss sie, in Geld geht, und man fängt an swipen. Und man trefft sich in ein Loch, und nicht du kein Geld zu investen.
And make it in the frum world financially unless they're receiving help from.
They aren't managing their money properly. Ja, Levi. Weil man nicht gegeben, keinmal nicht gegeben die muscles, man hat nicht gegeben die classes, man hat nicht gegeben die opportunity.
Family or someone.
Not everyone is meant for investment. Jeder darf investen, Levi. Man darf auslehnen, das in Geider in Yeshiva, man darf investen. Se do größere investments, meaning se do simple investments, und auch damit do complicated investments, und jeder kann machen seine decision.
Financially, correct?
To get them over that hump, they need something else. Yeah. Family help is factually a big part of it. I don't know if we've had other things. We've had people ask for raises after I met with them. We've had people start side hustles. Again, all they need, the middle class, to get over the hump is $500. I put this down in my papers, $500 to $1,500 a month. That'll get them. That's the difference between debt.
Man darf sie auch aber sagen, er soll stoppen spenden, loweren de Geld von spenden.
Spiraling debt.
And then what happens when they make the first?
En nog dan macht einer Gassen wie Nächten, einer was kennt es ja vor, und dann nimmt jeder mal aus de Augen. Jeder will sein Tap, jeder will geben Gits für seine Kinder. So why, you know?
So if they have those $500 to $1,500 a month,
Brooklyn, hello and welcome. How
they
are
have
you?
enough money to save. And then,
But that's only, if you think $500 a month, that's only $6,000 a year that they're saving. That's not enough.
but
By the wedding cost $80,000, makes no sense. Stop the scam. Yes, Levi. In 80 nicht. 80 nicht. Ah, die bist noch ein Mann, wo es dreift der Escalate, wo das machen a billige Gassene. Ich will verschämen meine Kinder. Mein sich. Of course not. Man darf doch sagen, geht von den Neighbor. Man darf machen a Worte, Noem, Schäferbruches, Gassene, Schabbe-Schäferbruches, der ganze Maße. Jacob, hello and welcome.
again, if it's 15 years, and we're talking about people
No,
that
it's
are
Okay, but are we taking into account that girls going to seminary, that's $30K, and
Man darf, by the way, man darf protesten, die eine Gassenes Family, weiß man. Man halt schon in der Zeit, wie jeder einer, okay, nicht jeder einer, aber man weiß schon, wo es tit. Man weiß, wo es Competition tit, man weiß, dass nicht healthy für die Community. Und die bist der Äußert von der Community, meine ich, die das an der Wegwasser und nicht gehen crazy.
and Chas Hashem, Mirz Hashem, there's a wedding. That's another. What's the floor for a wedding nowadays? Tell me. Even like a YSV takana.
I'm saying, can I go back a second?
Yeah.
Okay.
Es ist achillig, Levi, zwischen einer One-Man Band und haben eine 20-Piece Man Band. Stam, weil jener genommen eine 19-Piece Band. Ich denke, in Monsi hat einer, wenn ich suche Monsi, meine ich in einer Area, hat einer gebaut a 21,000 square feet Haus. Immer fragt von wo ist baust du 21,000? Sucht was an Chavara gebaut 20. You know what I mean?
We hopefully want to come out of this conversation today with a couple of at least ideas. I honestly don't think there's a solution.
Of course not, dann ist du keine Solution. Weil keiner will nicht an der Erster. Man darf nehmen die alle als Schirm. Man darf sagen, die bist klick, die gehst verkolleln und die gehst daran als Seife teure. Die das dich beruhigen. Die das an der Wegwasser. Die das machen a pushete Gassene. Die das nehmen a One-Man-Band. In nicht in der größte Shit.
Completely honest with you. But at least let's set the table, at least in my opinion, on where we are as a people, right? So when you go to a Knick game and you're sitting, I don't know, somewhere up, and by the way, it's expensive for anybody to go to the Madison Square Garden to a Knick game. But let's say you go and you treat your family and it's great, and you're looking down on courtside and you're seeing those guys. So who are those people? Either they're extremely wealthy people or they're celebrities, right? And you want to be there, right?
Yeah.
But you know we're not like them, right? I'm talking about a non-Jewish person. After the game, that person sitting courtside is going home. Where's home? probably Greenwich, probably Westchester. If it's in Miami, he's going to Bell Harbor, right?
Levi, ja? Also, dat is geen solution. Stel de golf in wakker roos en stap red. Dat is geen solution.
And we go home to wherever we live, right? Whether it's Brooklyn, Bronx, depending on your income bracket. The point is that...
De point was hij wil maken, hij eraan tanzen, is als de Jid was macht $100 million a jaar en de Jid was is minus $100 million a jaar, davent in dezelfde schil, geht in dezelfde halls, seht dezelfde Sachen. In humans willen eibig heranfitten. Jeder will heranfitten. En als pinke lights barachasana, purple wachtnachtlights, is de Sach, willst es auch doen. You're gonna stretch yourself to do it.
The people...
And that's wrong. Wegen dem sogar gaat de Kliege, de Rache, zij dafen nemen in Hand heran. Zij dafen sich beruhigen. Nicht machen Shabbat Bruches in een hotel. Beruhig dir. Zeggen niet dat die gest dat huis voor dein Kind. Dein Kind is gegennehmen. Darfst du nicht machen Shabbat Bruches in een hotel.
World, in the big world, they live and mingle with the people in their income brackets.
Yeah.
Right? So, for example, if I make $200,000 a year, I'm not from, I have a child or two with a dog, right?
Monkey see, monkey do. Ze nicht monkey, ich meine, es ist ja, Levi. Es ist ja. In der Riesen, wo sich Kim zurück, also es ist nicht monkey, es ist nicht keine schlechte Sache. Es ist ein Part von heranfitten. Dein Brain will heranfitten, weil ob nicht equals death. Also geht das. Dein Brain will heranfitten. Als die jeder dit, willst du auch het. Man sieht das auf Kinder mehr brazen. Ein Kind sagt, jeder hat das. Und du kannst fragen, der Kind, die willst das? Nein. Nur weil jeder hat das. Du kannst häusig machen davon, aber das ist die Reality. Weil jeder hat das, wisst die sind apart von jedem. And that's it. Wisst das auch het.
I buy myself a little house somewhere in Connecticut. I have a beautiful cul-de-sac. I send my kids to a certain school in a certain school district, right? Still public school, but it's a certain school district that I want to be associated with, right? If I'm $1 million earner and I buy a house somewhere else, or a multi-million-dollar earner and I sell my kids to private school, the kids that are going to that private school are pretty much aligned with my kids.
Mm-hmm. So in the firm world,
in the firm world, it's a major problem because we're already starting in a minus, because you can drive down any block in Muncie or Lakewood or Five Towns or anywhere, and you have a regular house. Next door, you have a gigantic house. Then you have another regular house. Then you have a gigantic house. You have no idea.
Durch dem hat einer, was wohnt nicht in einem regular Haus, weil kann nicht afforden. Geht das schon regular Haus ist auch schon sehr geht. So du der gigantic, riesige Haus, jeder so sehen, wie hat Geld. Der zweite ist ein okay Haus. Und nachdem du Apartment Buildings, wie hab's euch hat gekauft, und gemacht 25 Dires, in einer Rahmen pushen jedem von $4,000-6,000 heute Rent. Also ist kein Leben rach. Dem in a hazard. Just FYI.
You actually do know if that guy's father or father-in-law built it for him, right? Doesn't matter. My kid doesn't know that. So when my kid goes to school,
yep,
he wants that $150 hoodie or a $100 knapsack, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because the other kid has it. Or my kid comes home and says, that kid went to Florida for Pesach and on a private jet, because the kids know everything today. And I have to tell my kid, well, that kid got it from his Zaidi.
Okay, so. Was eigenlijk voor met das backman?
Guess what? If it's very simple. It's very simple. Or his great-grandfather.
Es ist nicht simpel. Es ist simpel für dir. Die bist dann adult, die kannst du schlingen. Dann sind ich verstehe nicht. Also jeder einer in seinem Kopf fuhrt mit der Private Jet, will auch nicht. Und Tati ist ein Krippel, was kann mich schicken mit der Private Jet.
Right? So, if my kid's going to come home with that kind of nonsense, right?
So, why is it nonsense? Why is it not? If it's nonsense, then wo ist doch der Oischer? Der Oischer
I can tell my kid, you should just know that kid's father did not work hard. He didn't do anything to earn that money, right? And that money came from his AD, right? Obviously, I told my kid not to tell the kid, right? But
dezelfde weg wie jener zoekt van de kind zoeken niet, dat is gevoerd met dat private jet. En de kinderen zoeken niet, ja?
Told you it's going to be controversial.
It's not controversial. It's factual.
Yeah, no,
I'm basically setting the table how we live
Right,
today.
I agree.
Yep.
We are living in a community.
But there's an advantage of that. There is an advantage to that also.
We are finding solutions here, right?
Yeah, we're trying.
Oh, we are finding.
Let's set the table for how we live.
Brooklyn, ich weiß, dass Nonsense. Ein Adult weiß, dass Nonsense. Aber ein Kind weiß nicht. Ein Kind weiß nicht. Sieht, jeder fuhrt. Nein?
The fact is,
We're all in one
live
pot.
together,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
We all sent to the same schools, right? Full tuition is full tuition. For the guy making 300 and for the guy making 2 million is full tuition, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
So let's
Just be honest with you. Ja, die kan sagen, wie honest die willst, Levi. Vielleicht die bist honest. Als dein Kind sieht, will So geht das.
discuss that, but let's at least understand where we're starting, okay? Then
Wenn alle Kinder kommen zurück sagen, oh, ich bin gewesen in Florida, ich bin gewesen in Netzesruhen, und dann Kind kommt zurück sagen, als in Geider, als bekommen, ich weiß was, ein Eiscreme-Vater ist, schämt das zu sagen, sagt nicht. Das ist die stiller Nebach.
that being said, you asked me about a wedding. I don't know. I mean, my oldest is 9, but I could tell you that I'm hearing numbers. My brother just made a wedding in Lakewood, in Nemus Achayim, which is not a fancy hall. He told me between wedding, Shabbos, Shabbos, gifts, it's $150 right there. It's 150.
So, a $150. Glaubst man warft das schon also wie a $150.
$50,000
Total?
married for daughter.
Like total.
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 That's not enough?
So Moshe, I mean, like, no, I mean, any saving, like all saving, the $500.
Man darf changen de Wort von Savings zu Investing. Savings ist eine Sache, noch damit du Investing. Man darf auslehnen die Kinder investen. Man darf nicht machen kein größer Bar Mitzvah. Einer hat mir gesagt, dass ich gange zu Bar Mitzvah und er gegeben ein paar Dollar für die Mitzvah mit einer Note. Und er gesagt, please invest this, do in this stock and whatever. Und er sagt, für die Tata zu öffnen. Ich machen die größte Risiko Bar Mitzvah, nimm die Bock 50, mach dann Gassan in der Backyard und leg an die Bock 50 in investments, also haben zu essen und leben.
Month, $1,000 a month. How does that prepare you for what Shmuley just outlined, which is just never being able to catch one's breath ever?
It's, I agree 100% that the lifestyle we have, even
Nicht alle Kinder können es verstehen und some verstehen, some nicht. Some tut es weiß, some wollen nicht sagen. That's all.
for the middle class, is high end or expensive. I personally,
Da darf man aber auch, man darf haben, darf sagen, was heißt der High Income bei der Goy und was heißt der High Income bei der Yid. All that.
my approach when I meet clients is not to talk about that first, because it's very important to them, their lifestyle. And they're
Of course, weil Rechel im Brechel im Mechel, kiek dich herauf. Jeder einer weiß alle deine Garbage, weil jeder einer redt. But gleich Stacko in front von der Haus, steht man geht.
not really doing anything wrong. They're just living with the times, the Joneses, whatever you want to call it. But they're not like, being spoiled or anything like that. But again, the biggest factor in a plan that I tell people is the time factor. $50 a month, $100 a month, $250 a month. We do the math. Every client that we meet with, $250 a month per child for 15 years, we'll get them $100,000 to $150,000.
Yeah, but what if someone doesn't have that 250 to put?
Great point. So let's say they don't have.
Wie viel macht ein Jahr? In Fang und Karten. Fang und Karten. Kauf nicht den neue Scheitel. Kauf nicht den neue iPhone. Kauf nicht den neue Car. Friedman. Hello and welcome.
That money. But if a client knows that what's going to get them over the hump between debt and actually checking their boxes for financial security is $500 to $1,500 a month, I find a lot of times they make it happen. They go for a raise. Yeah.
I hope you're enjoying this
Oh, man.
episode
So far, enjoying the episode. Tzedakah. Fang gave me investment.
Now back to this episode.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Friedman. Don't get stuck in the Stacko. You know?
We're finding an uptick in people in our community winding up in a place called Otisville. Is that considered making it happen sometimes, where they're forced to do things, not forced?
People don't think before spending. They do think. They just want to fit in. They want to fit in. They willen zijn wie jenem. Is dat normale Sache?
But they feel pressure to do things that aren't straight, that aren't yasher, in order to make it happen.
I don't come across people doing that, but there are those that are towing the line. Yeah.
Meaning,
And because of this.
you know people who aren't there, but they are playing with fire.
Yeah. Towing the line, I call it. I haven't been, to any major pond.
Einer hat mir erzählt, dass gewesen in Canada bei der Chassana. Sie dort ein Mensch dort, man geht immer singt, man geht am Essen, und man bezahlt ihm. Und sagt ihm, als gewesen einer von der größten Jiden in Satmer, so gegeben Geld. Und gewollt geben eine Bildung, und gegangen wird wegen. Und weil gegangen wird wegen, hat umgekommen in jail, weil gewollt geben eine Bildung. Just saying. Zalman, dann Sieger, hello and welcome. It's been a minute.
One second, the FBI is calling you right now.
Those clients know who they are. But no major.
You tell the dollar where it's going instead the dollar telling you where it went. Sie weiß nicht einmal, aber nicht einmal das Geld, sie fuhrt schon raus, wir müssen der neue, der ist der beste. Was meinst du, Apple, wenn sie kommen raus mit einem iPhone, changen sie the camera of the phone. Weil wenn die Hals das hat jeder sehen, die aus nebach der Alte.
Ponzi schemes, but again, you are correct that people are forced to make bad financial decisions because of what they're struggling with.
And why are they struggling?
A possible issue.
You think most of the people...
If I wish stellen sich auf der Rabunen und sagen, it's not normal. What is this?
People that are...
Oh, like I said on the Visa ist das, sie schon nicht du der Rabunen. Der Rabunen läuft noch der Dollar. All of a sudden, jener hat Geld, rief man am Arav Reb.
in Otisville didn't come from me. Were regular middle class people that just made a bad decision, or there were people that went absolutely cuckoo. I'm sorry, they went nuts. They made a lot of money very quickly, and then the market turned, right? And all of a sudden, the banks started losing tremendous amounts of money. And if you know how banks work, 'cause I'm sure you do, is that banks have shareholders, and no bank wants to take the hit. So they have to be able to tell the world, we found the person that falsified records or lied, right? Unfortunately.
Als gezoek liegend, van wo zal de bank coveren voor de verstaan is? Als gefalsified record, wie komt eraan door de bank? De bank het nemen de hit wenn zij dafen. Maar ze hebben niet gefalsified records. I don't understand.
Unfortunately, most of the guys ending up in Otisville, right?
But you don't think there are people who are ending up, even if it's a...
Ja. Ze doen aan massa als ze op zijn grootste oischer, de wabe gegangen ze op zijn hebben van zo'n kan nemen doen. Als beten als hit niet aus keinem, also hit nur aus de Rebbe, in de Rebbe soll hem zoeken, zal er ook gaan van drugs or whatever. In de Rebbe hat sich gegeben als er Drikos, als ich hem zoeken, zal er ook gaan van drugs, hat er mir aufhören geben Geld. Het is nicht durchgemacht, die Jure, gewinnt heute. I got the accident. Just FYI.
Small amount, but there are people who are towing the line because they need to make that extra money a month. They have so much pressure to hit a certain number.
Yeah, but those guys are not going to Otisville.
Okay, where are they going?
Meaning to say, those guys are not being looked at. They're not being looked at.
Okay,
the
but
guys that are being
they're
looked
still
at.
The point. That's totally gemist the point. It's gestalt auf Otisville. Now, the guys are under the prison.
The
risk,
guys
but
that
they're
are
still at risk. They're doing something wrong.
I totally agree with you.
The point is, as pushed. The point is, as I pushen the boundaries. I pushen, was is capable. Was a Mensch hat ihn für noch ein paar $, weil hat nicht kann breiter. Mischassen machen sein Kind. Missfuhren peisig auf Etzesruhl. He has to do these things. Weil ob nicht hat am einem umkicken, funny.
But with regards to the
But in general, kehren sie nicht, was sie an der Tracht. You get what I'm saying?
Otisville comment.
Okay, yeah.
The guys that are being looked at are the guys that are asking to be looked at. It's very simple. The guy that's trying to fly by the seat of his pants is trying to make it.
Like, ich kann sehen, als the host do gegangen, like, oh man, point nicht gewähnt Otisville. Point gewähnt, the ideas, I darf sich pushen. Gib a kick auf sein Face.
Looked at. It's very simple. The guy that's trying to fly by the seat of his pants is trying to make it.
Like tax fraud, like things like potential tax fraud and fraud is an issue. Not on the scale of Otisville, maybe.
No,
but not so.
The idea is, von was machen sie? Von was macht der Fraud? Von was pusht the boundary?
But it starts for that middle class family, trying to make that extra money.
Criminal? Oh, no. In Stimmen ist kein Criminal. Man schreibt nur ein du zabi. Man sucht von jenen, man kann bezahlen, man bezahlt nicht. Man fällt, man zahlt eine Company in Halbans, macht man Real Estate, und der andere macht man, fällt man Chapter 11, verstehst du?
It can start here.
So wie jetzt in Crypto, sind nicht du kann Insider Trading, weil es nicht kann Security, oder whatever, wie sie mir rief das. Der Law. Okay, mal gehabt. Wir nehmen jetzt eine gemacht. $180 million für Trump getweet wegen China. In derselbe Account hat auch gelegt, als CZ von Binance geht werden gepardoned in 2025, hat auch gelegt $70,000. Ja. Was noch ist regulated, ist nicht gegen the law, alles ist fein.
And who knows where it goes in 5 years once you're playing with fire. The point is that people feel so much pressure financially in our community. And as a community, we like to take care of everything. We try to make sure Duchim as smooth as possible. We try to make sure everyone has food for Shabbos, and we try to make sure this and this and this. But when it comes to finances, it's almost like there's nothing.
Sie geht schon auf negligent. Sie geht nicht einmal auf nothing. Sie geht auf negligent. Man sucht, wer darf gehen in college. Stell dir doch vor, Brach geht in college. Die narische Menschen.
Truly happening. You like
Who's
you
supposed
said.
to make it happen?
Derselbe Mensch, was geht ich onions für Peisach, wer sie macht das happening. Derselbe Mensch, was ist busy, der zu geben grape juice. Wer?
Leadership, maybe
Sure,
leadership. I don't know.
So let me ask you a question, okay?
Ping, du weißt ja nicht wer. Znias, Eirev, die alle andere Sachen weißt Die alle andere Sachen weißt pinklich, wer sie darf reden, mit welcher Rabbi man darf herangehen. Du weißt ja nicht, du spielst immer dumm.
We live, it's our life, right? We're always thinking about leadership, and if you want to talk about leadership,
De Internet Asif hat jeder gewiss, wie, wo es wenn. Wenn der sei das auf Stage geweint wegen der Internet, so man gewiss, da viele, wo sie ist.
who is leadership, right? What is leadership,
Oh, so haben wir gecancelt Leadership jetzt?
right?
Scheute.
Chassidim have very easy leadership, right? But they live and breathe in their chassidus. Everything A to Z. They wake up in the morning, they go to their shul. Their kids go to those yeshivas. Everything the Rebbe says is Kaddish Kedoshim.
So bei der Chassidim weiß man sicher, wer sich im Patch.
But they have an easy life because
They don't have an easy life. Sie kickt aus easy life.
if they want to do a
Also wie die Kinder in Amaspik haben ein easy life. Sie stehen auf, man geht sie Drugs, an hoch, kleine Kleider, man trugt sie zur Daycare, man geht sie Lunch, man bringt sie zurück heim, man geht sie noch mehr essen, hoch wie ein Berg. Seems like a good life.
business deal, they go to the Rebbe for a bracha, right? If the Rebbe says no, they don't do it.
Okay.
If they're real chassidim.
Oh, get that war voran if they real Hasidim. Yeah.
We, in our circles, everybody, and I know this from experience because I actually started an organization and I started something. There's 1,000 leaders in 1,000 different sects. And another thing is that you could have a community, you know this, from your community.
Steht nicht in Teure, dass Tata darf auslernen schwimmen? Schwimmen kann meinen financial. Verwusst, ob man das in Schibber getascht. Mastermind. Hello and welcome.
Somebody wants to open up a shul. Nobody needs to give any approvals. Guy wants to open up a shul, he opens up a shul. Now he has a shul. Now he's got 30 people davening in a shul. So now, is that considered a leader? Right?
Right.
So now you have 50,000 shuls. In my neighborhood, we have 4 shuls. Is there a need for 4 shuls with the amount of people? No. But everybody wants their
You're
own
just hinting
shul.
at the lack of leadership.
Right.
So then,
No, I'm not hitting a lecture. I'm saying to myself that we all sit and say, leaders need to do. How about us, right?
Grassroots.
Right. Leaders don't.
Grassroots? So ze doet 3 categories do. So-called leadership, de Ashiram, en nog dan de regular mensen. De regular mensen gaat geen goed niet stehen, is een pot. De regular mens. De leadership kan changen, en de Ashiram kan changen. Einer hat schon gemacht nach einer Chassana in Los Angeles, hat sich erkennt beruhigen. Ich darf machen als eine größere Chassana. Aber er kennt, was er will. Aber noch dem kann man nicht als er do Tanas, als er do Problems.
Leaders on Rabbanim, they learn.
Bin ich mit der rausgerissen noch. So du hast Sachen, was mit der rausgerissen bei der Chassidim. All of a sudden make man sich schlucken bei der Chassidim mit der Brüder. All of a sudden make man hier nach Sachen.
They're busy with the klal. Don't forget, they're only one person. I remember when I met Rabbi Brudny, he told me I couldn't reach him for months. And he told me, he's like, people think I have 26 hours in a day. I only have 24, right? Everybody thinks that he's going to solve everyone's problem, right? So when it comes to financial problems, he picks up a phone, and if it's a problem, and he makes a phone call to somebody, and $50,000, and it's another $50,000, and in Yiddish, they say, the redel dreht sich, and the wheel keeps turning, right? Another 50, another 50, another 50, another 50, and you don't solve any problems. But the reality is that people love to complain. 99.9% of people just want to complain, but nobody actually wants to do anything. So in this case, with the middle class, I actually think there's a solution that
Ooh.
people.
Yeah, I'm listening.
No.
Ja.
People need to take.
Kick him on. Do the Hechemir when I zoekt, I'm listening, and I get that kick of the links. I get that kick to the camera. Mention behind the camera. Shia. Hello and welcome. How you doing? Shia, I mean to say.
Solution that
Ooh.
people.
Yeah, I'm listening.
Kijk. I'm listening. Get back kick of zijn ogen.
No. People need to take personal responsibility. The
That's a game
fact
of
is,
fun, yeah.
like you said before, for better or for worse, right? There's a lot of pros living in our society. Like you said, we live in an amazing society. We have a Klal
En met het zelt is gegangen mit zijn car zu de dealer. En gewart dort etwas sollen fixen. En sieht a couple leben sich. Gekommen etwas checken the tires. Eine ganze Sache. Sind gekommen sagen, also getroffen an Nugel in the tire. Und gemacht a ganze plug für the tire. Sucht mir bei uns, gibt man a Kocha weiter. Man sit dann in 5 Reges. Tut man gewart für Wochen machen appointments mit Titzig. Just saying, it's do benefits.
is amazing. We do for each other like
Don't worry, Ungar will have bitcoins. Get, baby.
no other people, right?
Can I review Ellie Weber? Ich review jetzt this, but I guess, yes, sure.
So let's focus on the positives, right? And everyone take their own parts. For example, a couple years ago, I remember, it's happening now again, by the way, meat prices went crazy, right?
Yeah.
I told my wife, I said, listen, Baruch Hashem, I could afford it, but how about this week, my 9-year-old doesn't need meat Friday night, right?
Maar gekauft meat for the 9-year-old?
If people wouldn't buy meat if they can't afford it, then the supermarkets would feel that and they would do something about it. We can speak. What's the percentage, do you think, of how many middle class there are?
Of in our community?
Yeah, I think most, right?
Yeah, 70%,
Right.
75%.
So why
yeah.
can't the 70% speak with their pockets? And if only 20% do, that's the solution.
Want man darf a leader des zit in. Menschen followen. Sheep follow. Sei schwer zu sagen, geba machatia. Für wen man?
Otherwise,
So wie jetzt du mit der Chevre schreien, boycotts work. Yes, it does. Darf man nun einen boycotten?
what everyone's going to help and help and help. Like he said, more money, and more money, and more money.
Moshe, you sit with these couples and these families.
Yeah.
How come they're not empowered to make the right financial decisions to do such a thing? To say, you know what, we're not doing this because
Ja, es ist ein Mehlmarktkopf. I guess gehabt, wie heißt das für Mehlmarkt?
we can't afford it.
Well, so I'd say like this: people that come to me do that. The problem is, I would say, is that there's not enough people doing it. Like you're saying, people create, right? They make a difference. What I would say is that if there were more financial planners, or more people would go to financial planners, because they have mental blocks when it
Right.
comes to spending and budgeting. Do I not do this? Do I not? Then I've heard this many times. Like, I'm not supposed to spend money on this. Am I not? Am I? Nothing happens. You go to a financial planner, and this is not an ad. We spoke about this before. Go to your local financial planner. Don't go to me. Go to someone else. I don't care. But a financial planner.
Nog, wij kennen geen met jede mijn anyways. Er had nur a certain amount of hours dat ook. En ik ken ook met a certain amount of clients anyways.
Planner takes care of all that for you. And if more people would do that, then people wouldn't buy meat.
People would buy. Ach mal, am guide schon sie a financial advisor, das steigt man doch schon ergens. Die Menschen doch drained. Davon I'm going von wuss ist drained. Mandy. Hello and welcome. Bis Naidu. Welcome.
Then maybe the meat prices would go down. You know, that's how.
Siehst du also Sache wie, wie heißt das? Fisch für Shabbos. Ich meine, es steht in die Gemüse. I'm not sure. Als ob der Preis geht darauf, kann man cancelen Fisch. Darf man nicht kaufen Fisch. Man darf das von einem Team, also wie sagt. Man darf das von einem Team. Sie tut die Masse mit Gerrit Rebbe. Jen ist aufgegangen mit der Stramlich. Mit der Preis. Hat der Rebbe gesagt, ist aufgegangen mit der Preis, weil ich bekommt in einer Hit. In der Preis geblieben. So, darf man noch sagen Rebbes. The Handige sind just sheep as well, the Handige Rebbes.
Economics work.
Well, clearly it's not happening because in our world, everything's just going up.
Well,
And guess what? Once it goes up, it doesn't go down.
After this podcast.
Yeah.
No,
After this podcast, nothing will change.
No, I think it's true. Like we do need to empower
Yeah.
the middle class to take action with their
Stop spenden Geld. Stop spenden Geld. Und man darf unheim auslehnen für als Kind wegen Investen. Man darf nicht lernen einen ganzen Tag von 7 in der Früh bis 8 auf der Nacht chemisch in der Gemüse. Sie sagen, geht 3 Stunden am Tag. Nach dem Lernen aus Investen. Wie, was, wenn. Der Chashivas als Geld kommt zurück. Stuff like that.
pockets and with their business. And if this
Buy meat from Milmart, huh?
clothing store is charging an
Oh, that's funny, Taka Brooklyn. Don't buy meat in the cup is from Milmart.
insane amount, don't
Hold
go.
on.
Right.
Wenn trinkt mit der Cup, der heche mir, geht mach mit der Eyebrows.
with their
was
with
it?
their pockets and with their business. And if this clothing store is charging an insane amount, don't go.
Right.
But jeder eine mit der Gruppen der Kleid. Die Guys suchen verdammt Waben nicht zu kaufen, der Kleid. Die Guys suchen verdammt Waben, nein, also meine Tochter darf nicht. Es gibt doch jetzt Peisach. Geist nicht gehen mit den... Die Österreicher kauft der neue Cellphone, mit der neue Car, mit der neue Häusen. Der Wabe kauft der neue Scheitel, mit der neue Kleid, weil man geht da weg. In die Geist nicht kaufen. Jener hat nicht kaufen. Beruche jetzt sehen, also geht ungefähr 2 Mal derselbe Dress. You crazy?
They have a right to sell. Don't buy it.
Don't buy it.
Don't buy it.
But
exactly.
why aren't people don't
So
feel
then you know what? Then
So they're running around. Make chargen, zij megen es kaufen. So wie liegt der Problem? Als mis force kaufen. Me force doch, die mist.
those people shouldn't get help. It's very simple. Just like you come to yeshiva for a tuition break, the yeshiva asks you about all your finances, right? If the yeshiva deems that you're driving a fancy car, you went away on a fancy vacation, you're not going to get the tuition break, right? Guess what? If you're not living like the middle class, right? Then there's an organization now, Muncie, they're helping with Yom Tiv, the right? They have deals 50% off or whatever it is. It's a beautiful thing, but then, I mean, I don't know of any other solution. We should help everybody, but people need to take
Brooklyn, ich meine, Milmar darf du neben sponsoren, do the episodes.
personal cries. People, right? People need to take, it's their lives. No one is going to help them.
No one's gonna help them.
No one is going to help them. I'm telling you right now, the only time you get help is when someone passes away. They help
Bei ihnen sagt man lassen nicht leben oder man lassen nicht sterben auch nicht.
Almana. And that's for the first 2 weeks and have a good life.
Yep.
So people need to take personal responsibility. It's our lives. I mean, I don't know what else.
But to play devil's advocate on that person, like someone in the middle class, this is out of control. If someone's making $220,000, that is a lot of money. The fact that they have to be struggling and we've been hearing for years that tuition prices are going to come down, never has happened.
Wer getracht, dass geht da rugan? Whoever thought it's gonna go down?
And it's not happening. We're not seeing any movement on that. And on top of tuition prices, you have gifts you have to give, and you have uniforms, and you have knit check, and then you have Yom Tif, and then just everything
Application
Knit check.
fees.
application fees and seminar.
Schickt sie dann local free school in fertig. Jiddischkeit lernt man sich in school aus anyways. Schickt sie public school, dort ist free. Und noch ist das schon sehen, wo die kannst stehen.
And it's just the building fund, and it's just never ending.
Und noch dem der alle Apps. Und noch darf man nicht Apps, der alle Links. Man darf schicken Links für jedem einen.
It's never ending. So we can't just be hard on them and say, listen, make the right choices. But even the mandatory things they do, the necessary mandatory things. I'm not talking about the meet on Friday night. I'm talking about giving their kid a from chinuch education. I'm talking about sending your kid to yeshiva. If you have a family of 4, you are going to be out somewhere between $60,000 to $70,000 at the end of the year.
Yeah.
Now, let me throw something out there, okay? Very
Schickt sie public school, weil die Schule schon anyways. School. In Jiddischkeit lernt man sich aus in daheim.
interesting thing. There's a kahila, I think it's in Switzerland. I think it's the kahila of Zurich. And in Zurich, it's very interesting. You have to be a member of the kahila to get meat, kosher meat. Because the way it's set up there,
They get it from out of.
they get it from somewhere. And the way they make sure everyone's part of the kahila is by, now, you get charged different membership based on your income. Okay? So if you're low income, you get lower membership. If you get higher, because it's used to subsidize everybody else, right? Now, if you speak to a school, I meet with schools now every day.
You as well?
If you really want to get the honest answer, the reality is that whatever they're collecting from tuition is not covering. That's what
It's
they're
not
saying.
covering?
Not covering their cost.
By the way, die ganze Sache von schools, not covering. Ich meine, schools darf man haben ein open program, pinklich zu sehen, wie der Geld geht. Und fertig. A Gehirige, a Website, man sieht jeder einer, was er kostet, wie der Geld geht, pinklich. A open book. It's not secrets anymore. Damals hat man sehen, was a school kann sich covern.
They're losing money on every child.
I thought
The schools in Lakewood, for sure, and I heard this
Okay.
straight from the mouth of the schools.
Okay.
From not one, from two. Okay. Now, we all know, especially in the mainstream schools, it's hard to get into school, right? So there's a line. Then people get annoyed if the wealthy guy skips the line, right? We'll get to that in a second, by the way. But the school will say, listen, it's not a community school. It's a private school, right? No one helps me. I got to fundraise for my deficit, right? I got to do this. I got to do that. So by taking in a kid that has money, I'm at least, who's paying full tuition, I'm mitigating my loss. And that parent will give me also throughout the year donations because they appreciate the fact that I skipped the line for them, right? And at least I'm not losing my pants. But
So, with that, you're showing everybody that money talks and bullshit walks. Was supposedly darf sein a school, a Yiddish school. There you go.
every single other child I take in, it's at a loss, right? So I thought to myself, right, if you look way back when,
In noch eine Sache, also wie am molige Zeit, man ist geschickte Geider. Die ganze Geider-Sache ist noch de Milchumme. Schick nicht ein Geider.
in the early 1900s, the kids weren't going to yeshiva.
Exactly.
How did we get kids to go to yeshiva? By the end of the Haskalah movement, we got kids to go to yeshiva by knocking on doors and saying, "Do you want to send your kid to yeshiva?" And people are like, "Why should I send my kid to yeshiva? They're getting a great education, right?" Say, okay, how much would you pay to send your kid to private school? And they would say $100. No problem. Give us the $100. We want to make your kid from, right? That's how it started. Then
And that's it. Schickt sie public school. Und nachdem schickt sie a Sunday school, wie man lernt aus. Jiddischkeit in daheim. Simple.
as yeshivas started becoming more and more and more and more accepted,
So wie der College Problem. Als jeder einer missgein in College, als jeder einer missgein in College, fangt man nun nehmen useless degrees, und jetzt kommen sie raus auf die Welt, und können nicht gut nicht treffen einen Job, weil sie haben etwas ein worthless degree, und nachdem steigt man mit den Zingen draußen, ein Bucher geht in Yeshiva fast 8 Jahre, 9 Jahre, und ist auch dumm, wie heißt das? Gar nicht. Kann gar nicht.
I just started going up, right?
Weil die Idee ist nur zu sein in Yeshiva. Bis mal Chasana. Sei in Yeshiva. Sei in der Box in der Vicinity von Yeshiva. Kick aus, wie du bist in Yeshiva.
And
Sad.
now, once it gets to a level that it's now a bill, right? Now it's a bill. So now people look at it, okay, great. I pay my tuition bill, right? And does it cost that? Anything extra is already a donation, right? So I think that maybe because we're a klal community,
Oh, jetzt ist mir ja klar. A Rege zurück hat gesagt, dass keiner technisch helfen.
maybe there is a way to charge tuition based on income. If the schools are really losing money. If they're really losing money and they have to fundraise
Well,
for
they'll
it
be losing
anyway.
more than if we're charging based on.
No, the higher income earners.
That's kind of like socialism. You're gonna take
It's
someone.
not socialism. Socialism that everyone pays the same.
Okay, fine, but this is like taxing the rich. Like someone who's making $10 million a year. What are you going to charge?
but
You're going to
isn't
charge
that
them a
the
million.
Yes, verwusst nicht. Ich habe gemeint, dass Geider die most important Sache, jeder macht schon $10 million, hat verstehen. Spent dich auf Narigkeiten, man spent dich auf ein Private Jet, peisig zu gehen in Florida oder auf Etzisruel. Geh nicht auf Etzisruel. Ich habe gemeint, dass Jiddischkeit in der Geider the most important Sache. Nicht so important, I guess.
In dollars tuition?
Isn't that the way we get taxed in America? Higher income earners pay
But
more
the
tax.
truth is,
What's
when
that?
they
Isn't that
when they raise money, the people that pay lower, they're going to pay anyways.
right? But instead of raising money,
Right.
bake it into the
That's what I'm
system.
saying.
You're anyway going to raise the money, right?
Anyways
and by
gonna
the way,
raise
it
it,
goes
yeah.
back to the same thing that we were discussing before, right? At the end of the day, in the 1980s, 3 major things happened in Klal Yisrael.
Live, yeah.
Hatzalah, Chai Lifeline, and Satmar Bika Chaylam. Before then, people gave money to their kids' yeshiva and to your shul. People understood that's my contribution to society. Now, all of a sudden, comes in this concept of organizations that are extremely necessary, can't live without them, right? But now because tuition is a bit
Wie sind wir gelebt bis dahin?
Still, now I have extra money. I'm now giving it, right, to organizations, right? So I'm saying is, no problem. I'm not
I like this. Geh nicht für keinem. Geh für deine Kinder Heider. Geh dem Erste, wo du kennst. If that's the most important.
trying to tax the rich. I'm trying to say is, if you're paying tuition, right, X amount of dollars, and it's not covered.
Man darf einfach ein Auge der Box von Heider, so wie ich auch früher gesagt. Es darf sein ein Open Source Program, wie jeder eine kann heranlagen. Man sieht, wieso jede Family zahlt, wie viel zahlt, wie viel jeder Rebbe macht. Also wie eine Public Company. Man weiß pinklich, wo es geht vor, wie jeder Dollar geht, wie man legt. Und auch dann, wenn man machen the Dinner in der Back von einem Haus, nicht kein fancy Dinner, und mit dem man legt, so viel mal so viel Geld, und jeder, wo es geht, hat der Heider covern. Verstehst? Aber alles ist secret, und man weiß nicht gut nicht, und man macht School Programs, und man nimmt College Funds, und man geht Computer Classes, und sagt man, man geht nicht Computer Classes at all. Noch wird man gewohnt, am Rest einem years later fahren Fraud und etwas, und gemacht millions of dollars. What Tatsache?
And your son's school is in a deficit. And as we saw in the news, so many schools didn't open, right? At the end of the day, let's look at what's being given everywhere else, right? And see, how can we at least first make sure that our schools, from the same dollars, don't spend more money, just give it somewhere else. Now, I can't regulate that, right? Hashem gave the person the money. That person can give his meister wherever he wants, right? But I'm just throwing out ideas.
No, I want to just, can I just say something
please.
on that? That is a very big point, and I have to be very careful how I say this, but I've seen people's budgets. The tzedakah that's being given, there's halachas, and you ask your Rav and your Rebbe or Rabbi as far as what how you should
Se du halachas, like Ili des hat schon etwas einem gestoppt einmal.
give. But there is a lot of tzedakah being given, but the community is not coming first. The school, the community, the tzedakahs that are being given to wonderful, amazing organizations. And again, I'm not the deciding factor here, of course, but there is a lot of tzedakah being given, but not to the...
Eine von den Sachen, was ich halt, als fehlt von der Liches, ist, als man soll geben Zeduke in den Zip-Code. Jeder eine soll geben, was man kann nicht geben mit draußen von den Zip-Code. Geh für deine Family, geh für jedem einen, wem die kennst, darin. Und fertig, jeder hat schon kennen, jeder soll kennen, man findet 10 Menschen darin sich, weil die Welt gewinnt eine bessere Welt. Man geht heißt, man geht in Oman, geht man essen. Man geht in Uruguay, geht man essen. Geh nicht in Oman, geh nicht in Uruguay. Du wohnst in New York, du wohnst in New Jersey, geh in New Jersey. Wo gestern mir ergens wie in Australien, getroffen haben, Mitzvah-Bucher in Australien. Sie machen aber Mitzvah. Die Menschen in Australien sollen sich kennen, man findet dort allein.
I guess the people who should come first, I don't know.
Right, it's not to their schools.
It's not to the schools. That's a very, I can testify to
Right,
that.
and but that's a way, right? That's a way you can.
The problem is aber, Brooklyn, als die Vacation ist echt bezahlt von der Seite. Verstehst? Der Seite geht, und man kann gut nicht suchen von der Seite, weil der Seite geht schon, bei der Dinner geht schon 2 Pages. Verstehst? Na, größer mich übergehen.
Make it part of the system, right?
That's right.
You can't tell.
Als ein Chassana kostet $150,000 und jeden Tag du 15 Chassanas. In as a school can sich covern, wie supposedly a school get the meerste gitte heilige education, I think there's a problem. I think priorities has been an issue.
A guy where to give it tzedakah, right? I'll give you an example. When I went to fundraise for B'Sefer Chaim the first couple of weeks, right, I went to somebody, the master salesman, he tells me, he's like, I want you to know, tzedakah.
Wenn ich bin gewesen in whatever, out of the country, und ich habe gesehen, dorten geht jener essen. Dorten. Ich dachte mir, wie kommst du und dorten? Anybody was fuhrt dahin dort und hat kein Essen, ist ein eigener Fault. Nimm dich mit Tuna. Was helfst du dort? Man geht für jeden auf Etzisro. Wohnst du in Amerika? Geh für deine Family, du in Amerika. Hau gut nicht mit Etzisro.
It's like any other sale. When you come into my office,
Hello and welcome.
I have my whole life mapped out. I know that I'm giving here, I'm giving here, I'm giving there. Now you're coming with a new pitch.
Don't give anywhere. Geh für dein Local. Geh für dein Schwager.
You now want me to give to you, right? What are you offering, right? Like I said before, many people like to complain. Most people don't want to do anything, right? Some people are good for writing a check. Some people not even there for that. They don't want to do. My point is that if
Most people like to complain while they're complained.
people are concerned with the situation here in America, and there is a major cause for concern with the schools here in our tribe.
Es ist interessant, als ob sie du a sehr große Concern in sei reden davon. Bei der Internet hat man verstanden, der B&H Guy hat geschrieben, $1 million check, man geht gehen zu wie heißt das, a Stadium, und man geht schreien, in der Seite, ältere Menschen sind nachher rausgegangen für Schule, weiß davon nicht, was ein Timeout ist. Geht reden auf die Internet, weiß nicht. Verdorrt du Geld.
State area, that someone should do something about it, because my friend who just gave a ton of money, and by the way, let's mention it, right? Because everybody knows him in Klal Yisrael, Laser Shiner, right? Everybody knows Laser Shiner. He's a tremendous Baal Tzedakah, right? He decided that there's a need for a Dira Torah, right?
Die Torah, man getroffen in Lakewood, man getroffen in Geladen. Die Hebrew in Geladen haben es getan für $250 a heute, und sie haben gewiss, what they get into. By the way, der ganze Adira Teure ist alles darauf gegangen mit Preis, weil alle Real Estate ist darauf gegangen, alle Rente ist darauf gegangen, alle Grocery ist darauf gegangen.
No one's going to argue that supporting Torah is an amazing.
Man darf nicht. Bist der Adult, bist Hecher der Gassen in die Schuhe zu lernen, ist dein eigenes Schild. Geh nicht daraus, keiner darf dir nicht geben. In fertig.
Thing, right? He went and opened
No, he didn't open up. Andere Menschen haben gedacht geben. Wir sind ihm gefahren. Man geht machen einen Fond, geht man machen.
up, started a movement, right? Called the Dira Torah, and he went and he put his money behind it. He put his entire life behind it. And
I don't think he's that happy yet.
now he has an amazing thing that he started. Now, not everything is for everybody, right?
No, but es ist nicht important. Es ist nicht important. Kessi machen die Keulen und keiner kehrt nicht.
Guy told me, he's like, I gave a lot of money to Karen Al-Matar, right, in Israel. Everybody's busy with Karen Al-Matar.
Wer darf gehen zu kehren alle Matar in Israel? Du kennst kein Heider in Lakewood, macht sich sicher durch. Man ist busy mit, bist ein Adult, geh Arbeit. Und nachdem du willst lernen, kannst lernen. Aber die mir dann schwer figuren aus, als dann schwer will ein Learning Boy, und dann, die bist okay, sie wohnen in einem Basement und nicht oben kann essen, weil dann Wab versteht, dass Learning is the best, und sie arbeitet eine ganze Woche mit 4 Kindern und sie komplett nicht, dann sure, stop nicht lernen. But, so werden jedems Problem.
Money here, right? We don't have money. Guess what?
Wenn ich bin in Lakewood, pflege ich ein Essen Shabbos bei Menschen in der Heim. Und sie pflegt es an ein paar Wochen, wie ich bin gegangen essen bei Menschen, wo es literally mit total der Fisch in 4. In der Hose gewesen so klein, als a Fiese gewesen in Toilet und der andere Fiese gewesen in der Kitchen. Aber die Mischproche gewesen happy, weil sie gewiss, ihr Mann lernt, ihr ganzes Leben hat man gesagt, dass ein Mann darf lernen. She worked all week und sie sind gewesen happy. Wusste das?
Ruvain Wolf, who's one of the tzaddikim in our generation in Tzedakah,
Good one,
decided that Torah's Eretz Yisrael is the most important thing to him right now. Okay? So he went out and rallied the troops. The guy told me, he's like, he came to my office. I wanted to get involved, right? No one came to me for Karen Oil and Torah to America. No one came.
Man geht nur wie die Nummern und man kann schauen. Wie man kann schauen. Jeder hat sehen, hat gegeben. Geh nicht. Lehr nicht. Geh hab einen freaking Job. Und fertig.
We'll be right back to this episode in just a second. You know that song we
Hold
sing?
on.
Let me ask you a question. There's this college in New York. I think it was Albert Einstein University or something.
Yeah.
Albert Einstein.
Yeah, right.
I know what you're going to say.
You know what I'm saying? So they had a gift from someone who had passed away. She left $1 billion gift to this college, and tuition is now free.
Sind nicht tuition, sind ausgezahlt alle Doktorsachen, ja.
Do you think that it should ever get to that point? But you know what Louis Shiner happened to pull off with Adira Torah, he made it very exciting and cool to give to these Kol Jungelite and support them. Will there ever be, should each community maybe adopt something where how much needs to be raised for our yeshivas in our communities? If it's
Man darf geben, was ist important. So am ungeheuben der Schmies, was ist important. Man darf unheim machen eine Liste, was ist important. A Hose ist important. Essen ist important. Nicht geben für eine Keule ergens in Lakewood, was man getroffen. Lass mal gehen zu Uruguay oder in Rumänien und treffen etwas dort einen, was will bei Mitzvah machen. In Rumänien haben sich schon kennen wir von dort. Geh nicht in Oman, geh nicht in Uruguay, geh in New York, geh für die wohnst, dann fertig. No, man will haben Kredit. Der Aschiram, so wie ein Game, der alle Aschiram sichern Sachen, wie sie können werden, der Sache. Wie sie können werden, wie rief man das, man rief darauf ein Mensch bei der Dinner. Oire gekovet. Is de oire gekovet do. En er is oire gekovet dort. En er gegeben $1 million a year. Er gegeben a building. In the school can zich coveren. What craziness.
$50 million. Let's raise it and like let's take this stress off the everyday parent that can't afford it. That instead of literally buying their kids a pair of shoes, they're having to give tuition, and they can't afford to pay this tuition. And we're going to take care of the community. And
Wat zich zo gesorgt voor Keulenlinge laat, was machen de decision, right? Wo zij kunnen geen arbeiten. In mijn gemeen busy raising millions and millions of dollars. Hundreds, I would say. Ich meine, der Goal again 100 million. But für Kinder in Geide, die du a ganze, man weiß nicht mehr, nicht mehr macht, nicht mehr seht nicht. Und auch so, schick nicht Geide und fertig.
tuition is going to be, I don't know if it's free, but if let's say we're at 12 to 15,000, we're at 3 to 6,000.
Exactly, Penny. Ga weg van Keul, kannst joinen MDY in leren auf dem Boss heran in Arbeit. And by the way, wenn man get wenn geherige African Education mit a gitte, man kann a gitte Job, helm choosen Menschen zu lernen. Menschen an lernen between jobs. Man hat a Job, man macht $300,000-400,000 a Jahr, aber man hat a gitte Education. Sitzen in lernen. Nein, man darf sitzen von früh bis bei Nacht. That's the game.
Do you see that as a viable solution in the Frum community? We'll start with you and then go to Ishmael.
I agree. The question is who's
Public school is not a possibility. Of course it is. Of course it is, Sally. And again, if 75 people send, if 150 people send in a location, the school is going to change. It's not going to stay the same because they're going to geben classes towards the ends.
going to do it? I believe it's a halachic matter. I believe it's rabbinical because how do you give tzedakah? Who comes first? And I'm telling you, there's a lot of...
Se steht, se kommt koiden family, se do, halacha dike do. Man sieht noch nicht die halachas. Die halachas leicht man ergens wie das sind schand nicht. Sorry, England.
tzedakah being given. I've met with clients that are in debt because of their tzedakah, and that's another whole conversation.
Zij zijn in debt wegen der Zedokas. Yes, ich habe schon gehört, man Euro hat schon gehört, Masters, wie Menschen haben sich geborgt Geld, was haben mich gewollt aufgeben der Platz für der Euro gekauft or whatever place, because next year hat keiner sein nicht gedenken. So es hat gut nicht mit der Zedoka. Noch auf dem Gas hört man, wow, he's such a nice guy. By the way, the LGBTQ whatever, Sally, if the majority of people would be one section like Jews, they would not let it in. And they would go to meetings, and sie wollten protested, and sie wollten es nicht herangemacht. Just FYI.
You have to know what exactly your chiyuv of Meiser is. Again, I'm towing the line here, but this is to help people. So again, I think it's really a halachic thing. Like, what comes first? Your school, your city, and therefore...
I'm going to tell you like this, okay?
Is this a viable solution? Is it possible? Do you think...
No, it's not. Because man tun am Leben wie dem go.
See it happening? If you do not see it happening, why not?
First,
MW. Hello and welcome.
so you're
Miss Naidu?
suggesting, what you're
Shalom,
suggesting
shalom.
is socialism.
I'm
You're
not suggesting
everyone
a
gets free
hard...
tuition. Yes,
I'm
you
not,
are.
I'm not...
And what's the issue? Lass mir schon sagen, as a socialism. And who's gaining? You guys would be gaining. I'm a hot get education for the kinder. You guys will be gaining, wouldn't you?
I'm not suggesting everyone gets free tuition.
Well,
I am-
Mamdani's getting elected.
One
so
second, but
maybe
what
it's-
are you suggesting?
I'm
Do you know what you're suggesting?
Yeah, I'm suggesting that tuition becomes... It gets to the point...
So it's a thing with priority. It's nicht free as mis a community in mis zusammen in man macht Geld, ich do a Ziel. Welcher Präsident hat gesagt, als wenn a Alien Invasion, ja, lass mal sagen, es geht sein, nächste Woche Alien Invasion. Wollten Amerikaner, Russian, Israelis, Ukrainische, die alle Chevre wollten sich zusammengenommen, because in Sommer a common enemy, right? The common enemy is the aliens. So we need to attack. We have to be as one. As die bist a community, in the one Sache is education, is nicht gechillig besser macht der Geld. In Sommer do a budget, in Sommer do a situation, in darf man fillen the void. All of a sudden, nein, jeder eine ist allein. Okay, there you go.
where it becomes optional in a way where you give what you can afford because we have a grant. We are receiving $50 million this year, and it pays.
In Haider kostet so sag Geld, im lernen gut nicht aus. Because nicht einmal auslehnen, wie so man lernt man nicht aus. Let's be real.
Pays for what we need to be paid for, and therefore we're not giving these parents a bill.
Who's covering it?
Askanim.
Who?
The same people who are covering. The same people who are covering.
Dezelfde Weg, wie man versteht, als man hat aufgestellt $50 million für Keulingelad in Lakewood. Dezelfde Menschen.
Torah. But 1 second, you have thousands of Kol Yungalites sitting and learning.
Yeah.
Baruch Hashem.
Well, who's running point?
Who's running point on a Torah?
Yes.
Laser Shiner.
So maybe Laser Shiner's run point on this.
So call Laser Shiner.
Oh, so all of a sudden wird es jetzt bet EMA solution. Bet nicht EMA solution.
Call him right now.
Call him right now.
Nah, I got blocked.
Oh, my point is, you know,
He's getting blocked. Geworden. Brr, let me finish. Alles geht's. Hello and welcome.
my point. No, my point is very simple.
Not
my
now,
point,
but,
my point is very simple. Different causes speak to different people.
Ja, ja. So es ist nicht about the Tzedukah. Es ist about personal feelings. Wie die feels geht. Also wie die Baba in Manhattan gestorben ist, hat donated $100 million to a poppy shelter. Because she feels the poppy shelter. Ne? So the poppy shelter. Bekommen und fertig.
So
This is a cause that will speak to a lot of people. No. One second. With Shmuel Yarson, you can only do one thing. You need to understand something. The reason Shmuel Yarson is successful in 3 months with B'Sefer Chaim is because Shmuel Yarson is focusing only on B'Sefer Chaim.
Ah, mal getroffen.
Okay? Hold on. If the Askanim would stop calling themselves Askanim and just focus on doing one thing, then we wouldn't have a problem with Askanim, right? The problem is that when you do something good, you start getting dragged in 1,000 different directions. I spoke to somebody yesterday, Big Balt Stock. I told him, I think right now, in the last 3 months, because I'm fundraising, and I said,
Die größte Balzeduke ist, lass mal sagen, a Belzer oder a Sapmerer oder a whatever. Wieso kann sagen, die Heider covered nicht? I just want to know. Geht so viel Geld everywhere else. Von wo geht nicht in der Heimkoiden?
I think
Was hat es mit Feelings? So man get Feelings. Dort wie es viel geht. Okay? Wenn dem kickt das Staka so aus.
the hardest thing to be right now in Klal Yisrael is about tzedakah. Why?
I know a millionaire leaving his money to foxes instead of people. Exactly. Because my field geht. Was a field geht, weil dort ein Field das geht. Sure.
The guy that's building a $18 million Oren Kodesh, whatever you
a $18 million ohne Kodesh. Man kann es nicht einmal essen, kann man.
the real price
What a waste of money.
is, right? If you give him $1 million, it's great for now. He's coming back to you in 6 months or a year for another $1 million. If a guy has a budget of $5 million a year, you're giving him 25 grand, let's say. Wow, thank you very much. He's coming back to you in 6 months. That person that needs to make Yom Tov, right? Go ask all the Baal Tzedakah and Klal Yisrael, how many people right now need to make Yom Tov, right? $500, it's never enough, right? They have the most enemies. Baalei Tzedakah and Klal Yisrael, doesn't matter where they give, what they give, how much they give, how nice they give it, there's always going to be someone that complains and doesn't like them, right? So at the end of the day,
Thank you, Alex.
people do, right? I give a lot of credit to Laser Shiner because
He did it.
Adira Torah is his baby, and
What
he's
do you
only
suggest?
focused on Adira Torah. He can't. Once he starts focusing on 10 other things, that Adira Torah takes a backseat. Now,
kann schon nicht wegbacken. Ist schon einfach screwed. Ist nebach herangelockt. Is over. He's done. Was geht jetzt all of a sudden wegbacken? He'll be the biggest loser nebach.
Adira Torah will suffer.
I know, but this tuition thing is going to take
So,
a lot more people
great.
than one.
The tuition is sach mehr important. Because Kinder, die Hals, als Kinder müssen gehen. Die Hals, das sind geladen, müssen lernen. Müssen gehen lernen in Koil. Obviously, Kinder müssen dich. How's nicht?
Guys, right here today
So,
on
für was macht man nicht keine Priority des?
this podcast,
Yes.
Nachi Gordon
Okay,
is starting an initiative.
I have a
Hold
thing.
on.
I have a thing.
What?
What's your
This.
All right. So let's figure out who could we call that's going to start something for Adira Torah.
Das ist die ganze Sache. Wie man geht Geld und wieso man geht Geld.
Sorry, Karen Oilam Torah, America. We all know the schools are suffering. We all read.
One second. The schools are suffering and the parents are suffering.
Right, but the schools are suffering. But
So, ich meine, man soll geben in Oman. de man geben essen, weil Menschen suffern do.
Right? So the parents are suffering because they're paying too much tuition, right?
The school is
is
suffering
saying
'cause
they don't
they're
have
not
money,
getting-
right?
yeah.
Okay. So you're saying if someone has 5 kids and we get the schools in order, that they
Koiden darf man da Schieren machen, also wie man gewiss bei der Internet, sie machen eine Sifa, darf man machen auch eine Sifa do. Wegen nicht spenden, nicht da wegfuhren, man darf nicht herausziehen die Augen. Und fertig. Es geht sich changen, was ist human nature, so we're kind of doomed. Jetzt kiekt man auf eine Road mit einem riesigen Loch und so wie mein guter Freund sagt, nur Mashiach kann jetzt helfen.
takes a huge burden off the parents at the same time.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Let's figure
Fang
out
und geben gute education, how about that? Als Gevers sollen können haben gute Jobs, sie machen Geld.
today, when we walk out of here, who are we calling to start this initiative?
I think we're gonna discuss that, but we're gonna go on to other topics before
Okay.
we decide who. We're gonna let the comment section decide
in.
who. I want to talk a little bit about credit card debt. It's a big topic.
Credit card debt is just gewesen, wusste das a different topic. Man gebar Geld und man swiped da weg.
Is that a big problem that you're seeing, especially with the younger people? Do they understand how credit cards work? That if they swipe the thing, that it's gonna actually they're gonna have to pay it at some point?
They know how it works, like floating around in their heads, but
So es geht schon, so es kommt weiter erup zu Education. Es kommt schon weiter erup, als a Tate darf geben Education. Für wie soll der Tate wissen? Weil in Heider, in der School, wie man darf sich lernen Sachen, soll geben Education für die alle Sachen.
until they actually see it's that I'll tell you like this, the ultimate problem with middle class, there's a psychological piece of not being able to live comfortably. The real problem is credit card debt. That's where's the money coming from? Either tax fraud, which there aren't too many, thank God, or Otisville, not too many yet, or whatever.
Yet.
But the biggest problem is where's the money coming from? The next best thing, credit cards. That's what makes it accessible.
Do people actually?
When the Amex get denied, they know. Yep. Wenn man steht bei der Grocery in der Wab, get a swipe and sie geht, denied. Maybe swipe it again. And man call the man. And man get this, man basiedel the man.
Like I have credit cards. I'm a person. I'm not wealthy. I know when I swipe a credit card that needs to be something I'm swiping for that I can pay for. Do people actually swipe a credit card and they're thinking, I don't have the money now, but hopefully. Do people swipe credit?
Hopefully. Jeder eine nützt das also hopefully. Man sucht doch der Beschäfer hat helfen. Once die likes daran, this in the situation, bis die geht, Beschäfer hat helfen.
Cards like that?
They swipe it
Wenn
without
der Beschäfer hat helfen, so wenn es angeht, swipe.
thinking. There's like a cognitive, I think it's called cognitive dissonance. There's a mental block. People have
Is it
mental
on
blocks.
luxuries or on necessity? Because necessity, I have pity and I feel for the person who's saying,
Wenn ein Mensch ist in einer Klemm, in darf etwas bezahlen, hat nicht kein Breide, geht nützen die Credit Card. Der Car starbt hat nicht kein das. Geht swipen die Credit Card. Dann wo soll hin? Darf doch umkommen in Arbeit. Hat schon einen Deal mit dem nächste Woche. 2 Wochen nach ihm. Noch ein Balk der $10,000. Und so geht hin. Und nachdem hat man von den successful Menschen, it's the points. It's the points. Wieso bist du, it's the points. Weil man kann meine Points für free Geld.
I need to buy this. I need to buy uniforms for my kid.
Cognitive
And it's
decline.
$500, whatever it is. I need to buy it. And they're swiping in, they need to. Or are they swiping for a Rolex? Like
The problem is, what's a necessity? You go to a store in Central Avenue and buy children's clothing. Is that a necessity?
Weil der Kind darf auskicken geht. Der Kind, mit Titun, das ist auch eine kranke Sache. Mit Titun die Kinder mit teure Kleider und nach dem schreibt man auf der Kind, don't be a kid, wer nicht schmutzig, du hast eine scheine neue Schiech. Well, kauf nicht den neue scheine Schiech. Geh in Walmart, kauf ein $5 Schiech und noch let the kid be a kid, for goddamn it.
Or is it not a necessity? It's extremely expensive, but kids need clothing. But do they need this brand? That's also a problem. So people...
Sie du Kinder, wo sind besser ungetein, in teurer ungetein, wie Adults. Ich bin nicht in der Kleider, aber ich bin schon gewähnt, leben Kinder, wo sie haben Gucci-Belts und sie haben erst Shirts, wo es ist mehr wie mein ganzer Wardrobe. What a crazy world. Livey, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you for floating the boat here.
Normally I've seen assume that if it's under a certain category, it's a necessity. So I don't see it on luxuries. People aren't getting into credit card debt because of luxuries.
really?
No.
It's just the basic.
Er is sehr
bare
ruhig,
necessity.
Brooklyn. The right guy is very... sucht was ist, weil gesehen Budgets und gesehen hat, der Oilem spent und der Oilem hat nicht.
Necessities.
They're necessities.
Well, I think that if again, like
What's a necessity?
Ja, was heißt necessity? Likes es ran in deinen Kopf, as is a necessity, or whatever the word is. Man muss mit dich haben. Man kann misgein ungetein mit der Gucci-Belt. Man sehen misgein ungetein mit der Polo Velovo, or whatever the flip den Namen heißen.
I don't know.
I'm saying, like, what is it? This is the problem.
Thank you, Levi.
Okay, it's just like
Appreciate it.
I think tuition. We can close the parentheses on tuition. We all agree that that's a
But you have somebody.
Und stell dich vor, keiner wird nicht geschickt in Heider, nur der, was kann afforden, und der, was halt tacken, der, was sagt, you know what, ich will mein Kind soll lernen. Du, ich will ihm schicken. Es ist ein Must. Man muss schicken. Ein Kind muss gehen auf ein Boss. Ein Kind muss fuhren. Mit der Sache Standards, als ich kann breiden, in die willst du anfitten mit jedem. Und dann geht auf die Nerven. Die misst. Schau, swipe der Kartel. Was wisst du? Du hast da gegangen. Lass mich ab. Lass mich leben.
whatever. We'll discuss
Okay,
it.
good, fine.
I'm saying
Laser shot.
you
I
agree,
told you solutions.
you
yeah?
agree that's a,
Yeah,
that's a potential solution that can
Absolutely.
help the families and that can help the
Not
thing.
even a question.
And we also understand that tuition is the number one expense
Enjoy,
on
Penny.
everyone's thing.
Happy birthday, Penny. Enjoy.
I
That's
mean,
right.
have mortgage, but like tuition is probably the number one expense
It
because it's
is.
rolling with the amount
Also,
of kids.
but don't forget, in high school, it gets more expensive.
Right,
We
right.
didn't even talk
Weil doch schon kommen zur High School. Es ist so important zu schicken. Die Kinder lernen sich absolut gut nicht.
about seminary. Which goes into the same conversation I had before with the meat, is that don't send your kid to seminary. Guess what? My wife didn't go to seminary.
Don't send your kids to... Sie sei gering zu sagen. Aber als jeder eine schickt zu Seminary, ist doch, ich mach doch mit deiner Tochter. Tochter nicht gegangen zu Seminary? Was?
My niece just got married. She didn't go to seminary. She did a wonderful shidduch.
Oh, siehst?
They live in
Aber
Lakewood.
siehst, wie sie sagt das? Und nicht gegangen zu Seminary. Nicht getan, a wonderful shidduch, weil obviously ist es a Sache. Oder dort du etwas anderes.
My brother's a Balbata. She's more than middle class. His daughter decided.
Oh, that's why. Is balbatisch. Und wenn es du Geld, wogt alles heraus in the window. Und sie haben gechust nicht zu gehen. Wenn sein Bruder oder Schwager ist broke, tut nicht kein gärige Schiddach.
Both his daughters, he has twin girls, decided they don't want to go to seminary, and they're perfectly fine. She got married.
Jeder weiß, dass ist perfectly fine. Everybody knows. But keiner will nicht an der Erste. Keiner will nicht an der Nachschau, wenn man nur da rantanzen in der Wasser. Wer darf an der Nachschau? Der Mensch, was hat der Geld. Darf sagen, ich habe Geld, and I choose not to do it for others.
Immediately, first boy she dated, have a nice day. No problems, okay? So it's
And me sagen, the first boy she dated, she was a catch.
what we make of it. But you don't want to send your kid to seminary. Don't send your kid to seminary. Who decided that if you don't send your kid to seminary, it's like... Well,
The society hat decided. Dezelfde wegen in Lakewood, du Pressure zu gehen in Coil. Jeder eine will sein ein Coilingemann? No. But die guys are separate. Die guys die drive mit Toyota Camry, was so umgesetzt, wo dann schwerer gegeben, was macht noch ein Neues, und dann ist es nur von daheim bis in Arbeit. Und dann war es als Secretary ergens, und die hast 3-4 Kinder.
Well, like you said,
Who
like
decided
you started in the outset, we all live in the same community, and if in a class 28 girls are going to seminary, how is the 29th one going to say, I'm not going because my parents can't
yeah,
afford
I'm
it?
going to tell you a little something, okay? And again, it goes back to if you have an idea, let's do it, right? If 30%, first of all, let's be very clear. Nobody wants to send a kid to Israel to seminary.
Seminary schools is leidig. Sie do viel mit Menschen mit Guns, und man like, die misschicken.
I don't
What?
care if they're wealthy or
Why
not.
not?
Very simple. Nobody wants to spend $40,000 on anything. You ask
Obviously nobody wants. But man miss. You're gonna be als doch endlich irgendwo machen Geld, bist doch eure covered bei einer Organisation, und die ist nicht schicken. Hello.
the average guy that works hard, right? And his wife comes to him that she wants to buy something. I promise you, it doesn't matter how wealthy the guy is. For me, it's, let's say...
Do you agree with that statement that nobody wants to send their kid to seminary in Israel?
I'll tell you like this.
No father wants to.
Man fragt nicht. Man sucht von dem Mann, die will besser gehen arbeiten, und die soll besser heimbringen das Geld. Und er kann nicht sagen, nein. Bist doch eure gekauft. Du hast doch den neuen Phone, du hast den neuen Escalade. Der Wab weiß.
Why? What's the point of it? Well, tell me what the
I
upside
don't know.
is.
It's a general statement you're saying.
Dezelfde Weg von wo der größte riesige Osher macht der größte riesige Gassene. Will denn? Nein, aber macht es.
I hear what you're saying. Not there
I
are.
don't hear it. Why
You
do
don't
you
have to say like you have to. What?
Why do you? I don't. What does it mean? I
What?
want my daughter to have the year in seminary to grow and to be in seminary.
Grow how?
It's
Jetzt challenge der ganze Idee für Seminary. kann man doch schon challengen die ganze Sache mit Heider. Lass mal gehen zu Heider und lass mal unheimlich fragen Kinder in Heider, wo hast du gelernt? Du bist schon 3 Jahre nach Heider. Bubi, wo kennst du? Meines, wo die lernst du in daheim.
So you're saying
I'm saying, how could they not grow here? My nieces, my other nieces from Muncie went to seminary in Boston.
Is it a necessity or not? You know, that's
well,
the question.
it seems like it's become a necessity.
Right.
So the same way that going
Tryt ihm zu proven, was nur geworden. Oh, man. Aggravating. Tryt ihm zu proven, jeder normale Mensch weiß.
You're saying essentially it's not. It's not really a necessity.
Why is it a necessity? Well, meaning to say nobody, doesn't matter how wealthy someone is, right? If you tell a guy,
Good and healthy parents can't be forced, you're mistaken, MW. Du hast auch wie psychological. Du hast auch wie heranfitten. Okay? Der Brain will heranfitten, in der Genes will heranfitten, weil du nicht meint das teut. Also geht das. Heranfitten ist a part of the Weg, wieso ist die Arbeit. Se du stärkere Menschen, du schwachere Menschen. Jeder will sein cool, jeder will attention, jeder will a hug. Some mehr, some weniger, but that's how it really works.
courtside seats at the Knicks, and he's an uber wealthy guy, he's in. That same guy, for the same price, his wife wants to do an extension tomorrow, he may not be into it. Oh, what do I need to move out? Everybody wants to spend money what they want to spend money on, right? And it's their money. That's what they should do, right? My point is, nobody voluntarily says, this is going to be great. My kid's going to turn 18 or 17 and a half. They're going to go to Israel. I'm going to drop 40 grand, right? And that's what I want to do. No. People say, I want to send my kid to a nice school. I want to send my kid to...
What? Keiner sucht nicht, dass will schicken auf wegen der Price Tag. Schickt ein Seminary, weil jeder schickt ein Seminary. Geh jedem einen zwischen 4-Jährigen und fragen, von wo darf deine Tochter gehen? Sagen, darf es wie ein Loch in den Kopf. 40,000 ist just, weil man keine raussacken findet, weil man weiß, dass bis da eure Covid ergeht.
if their daughter going to Israel makes them happy, and
Yeah, what about the people paying for it? Does it make them happy?
Of course not.
if it makes their kid happy, then maybe it makes them happy. I don't know.
By the way, let's be honest. I'm saying we do a lot today, a lot more than our parents did for us to make us happy. Nobody made me happy, and I don't see our kids being any better than we grew up.
And by the way, Han tippt man für Kinder, ich weiß, was er 13 sagen, du, Han tippt man für Kinder, gut nicht für die Kind. Als die soll können sein cool für deine Friends. That's it. Die, dann Wab soll können sein cool für ihre Friends. So hat schon, Kinder sind just a joystick, wo die spielst. You're living vicariously through your kids. Of course, die bist happy mit gut nicht getan für dir, weil die verstehst live, aber jetzt wirst du leben durch dein Kind.
I have a therapist coming in for the 3
it's not
o'clock
therapy.
podcast.
I'm
we
giving
can bring
you-
this up.
My point is going back. If 30% of people do not send their kids to seminary, what's going to happen is very simple. Either somebody's going to open up a seminary that's half the price, or the seminary.
So, hold on. Er sucht, keiner will nicht schicken. Was man schickt doch es bei der End von der Game, sucht er. Weil er sucht, ob nur 30% schicken ist, geht einer öffnen und du als Zweiter. So, man schickt doch ja.
Are just going to drop their prices, just like the supermarkets.
So I'm all for.
That's what I'm saying.
That's nice, Sally. That's amazing. Alles geht? No, alte sunglasses.
Trying as a
That's what I'm
group
saying.
to
Send your kid
drive
to
prices
seminary.
down.
Right.
But Shmuley, I'm gonna get a lot of emails and messages from. And I remember this happened when I came to the whole wedding stuff. Is we were calling for smaller weddings. I had florists, bands, photographers reaching out to me saying, "You're hurting my parnassa.
What?
I make money on these lavish
Whose
weddings."
parnassa am I hurting?
The
I'm
people,
trying to
the
protect.
people who run the seminaries.
I'm trying to protect the
people who
middle.
run the-
I'm trying to protect
Hat hoog gedraaid.
the middle class.
I
The
know that-
florists and the bands are part of the middle class. They're part of society. They
I know,
are.
but if we tell people to make
I'm
smaller
not telling
weddings,
people anything.
I think all he's
One
saying-
second.
I think-
I'm here to give my opinion. Nobody has to listen to a word I say. Who am I?
Oh, so je kippt er schon der Weg.
A guy here to have a conversation.
No, I get it,
You brought me off my opinion. I'm giving my
no,
opinion.
I'm telling you what.
So
what's
that's,
Send all
but
the
that's their
emails-
problem.
send
Can
all
I
the
tell you
emails
something?
to him.
If I did,
And-
yeah, by the way, send them to me.
And
No
I
problem.
agree with what you're saying. Essentially, it might not be a necessity, but does that mean we should?
Man schluckt sich jetzt du auf der Psyche. Man schluckt sich du auf der kleine Minute, wie so ja Brain arbeitet. Sie sind nicht an Seminary. Sie kennen an der neue Range Rover, sie kennen an der neue Scheitel, sie kennen an der neue Suit, sie kennen an der Ferragamo Belt, oder dann Loafer Shoes, oder anything like that. Sie kennen an dann geben für eine neue Shield. It's all in the psyche.
Start galvanizing everyone to say 70% of the community shouldn't go to seminary? No, that's not going to happen.
I didn't say that. Everyone could do what they want. But if you
Everybody can do what they want. Man kann nicht tun, was man will. Das ist doch das Problem. Weil was man will tun, ist was jener, weil man will heranfitten. So man darf einem, was geht kennen tun, als schiddig mit seiner Tochter, weil hat Geld, in soll publicly herauskommen, ich gehe nicht schicken mein Kind zu Seminary, in noch tun. Und keiner soll nicht schicken zu Cicero.
Can't afford it, don't send your kid to seminary.
Shmuley's thing is,
If you can't
Shmuley's
afford
thing
something,
is, and I
don't
think you would
do
agree,
it.
is if you cannot
S.
afford it, don't
Yes.
do it. And what we're
That's
having
right.
in the middle class is we
If you can't afford it, don't do it. Obviously, if you can't afford it, you can't do it even if you want. Es ist die pusht zu tun Sachen, zu können es afforden. Der Schmeidereis, wo die ist, der Nacht, wo der Nacht, wo die verlierst. That could be a thing. Jamie. Yo, hello and welcome.
can't afford it, but we're doing it because it's a necessity. That's what's happening.
People
in our
are
world.
going into debt.
Oh, das ist es. Man geht daran in das, weil man will sein normal. Und wer kann controllen, was heißt sein normal, ist der Elitist. Meaning the Menschen, ich weiß nicht, Jens, das richtige Wort, aber die Menschen, die machen Geld. Die Menschen, die, jeder eine weiß, wenn man hat Geld, riecht sich alles. Zij dachten zijn de spearheads. Zij dachten sagen, ich ga nicht machen kein größer Hasana. Ich ga nicht in das. Und fertig.
Because of
So how is that a normal
things that are
thing?
necessities. Yes.
Right. So how is that?
En ook, maar daarvoor naar ons leren financial literacy in schools. Van wat lernt man es in Schoß? Von wo steigt man es immer lernen Schoß? Man geht auf mein ganzes Leben Geld. So, von was
Right.
nicht?
So how is that ever going
In
to?
Neuberg geht es an der Keulinge, Mann. Von was kann man nicht schon weg auslernen Investments? Wir sind so liegen, man macht da so viel Geld, man hat da so viele Sachen. Dann boom, lernen aus das.
Solve
How's
anything?
it going to be solved? Yeah.
Right.
What do you advise?
It's not going to be solved. Because a Hasidische Heider is not going to change their ways, weil der Rebbe is nicht wrong gewesen. So man geht ein bisschen teut damit.
a client that sits across from you that says, we're in debt, but between seminary, yeshiva, our daughter is in Israel, she's learning, she's gonna marry. Like, what do you tell that couple? Like,
There's no one answer, but a lot of times the answer is their house to borrow against the house.
Whoa!
That's the big.
This has a natural response.
A lot of times
Yeah.
the answer is their house to borrow against the house.
yeah,
That's the big.
Send their kid to seminary?
Yes, yes, yes. Derselbe Mensch hat gesagt, gegeben für dir Torah. Und man geht verlebt. Geht nicht.
to do weddings.
You see that? You see? Okay.
Seminaries.
I don't have to
Vast aim, you see? There's a part from society.
speak anymore.
I'm saying it
So
depends.
anybody that's going to email us or anything, the financial advisor just said that you should mortgage.
I didn't say you should.
Whoa. Das ist gesagt. Gleich schon am Werte des Ammo.
That's what people do.
People are mortgaging their
big
house.
difference.
No.
Macht das auch, people are sending it, but yeah, people are. Also stark is important zu sein in a circle, am a mortgage da weg the house, im a borgt Geld, for the simple reason zu sein in the circle. Hello.
So people are mortgaging their house to send their kids to seminary.
to make weddings.
That is, he didn't say
Why,
weddings.
Do you think that's a bad idea?
In weddings,
To mortgage-
in weddings is ja normal. Sie bezahlen die alle Stissen, was keiner gedenkt ist anyways.
your house to send your
How
kid
else
to
is
seminary?
no, well, let's second.
No, we're talking about
Seminary is one
seminary. I'm
thing.
not talking about a wedding. I'm
Why
not talking about a wedding.
Why not wedding?
Because you can't compare making your child's wedding to sending kids
Why?
to
It's a
seminary.
bad idea
Why is
to take out.
Why? Hold on. Seminary is a Sache, wo supposedly geht sie sich changen, es geht ihr besser machen in life. Wo es geht dich a Chassana machen? Gut nicht. Das ist eine Nacht. What is he saying? Der hat will ja?
A home equity line of credit to pay for certain things.
Well,
don't
I
think-
didn't say, you're not listening to me. I saying seminary.
Even seminary.
Okay, Seminary nein. Wo tut sich mit Chassana? Chassana ist gewesen okay mit.
Ishmael, throw seminary out the window.
What? No.
Throw no.
That's different.
Throw
That's
seminary out the
different.
window.
Seminary.
No, I'm saying weddings now.
Okay.
Yeah.
well, next
You have to make a
conversation.
wedding.
So let's be
Yeah.
very clear that we're now segueing into weddings.
Yes. Okay,
Guys,
jeder
you
ist
know
klar.
what? I want to
answer on
segue.
seminary.
out of seminary and
Who's going to pay for Levi Lassen if people cut back? Bis gerecht, Brooklyn. Let's all borrow and lend money. Ausnehmen mortgages. Got it.
Rachel's now making her wedding.
Okay, I want to segue into
we'll
something.
get there.
I want to segue into something else.
Rachel, if Rachel can make a wedding in Matalea, which the Schroens built for everybody, not just for people. Did you see how beautiful Matalea was? Did you watch the video?
I did, yes.
Okay. So make a wedding for 13 grand, right?
Mhm.
My brother got
In weiß wer sie darf das tun? Die Menschen, was haben Geld. Die Menschen, was haben Geld. Because sie sind in the Wegweisers. Herrschi, dann Sieger. Hello and welcome. Schön, dich zu sehen. How are you?
Married years ago in Flatbush, okay? And his mother-in-law, Allah Shalom, had ALS. So they couldn't go out of the house, and the Shabbat Shalom was in the house. And every daughter, my sister-in-law's siblings, all made food. And it was beautiful. It was absolutely beautiful. We don't think about it. My brother, Baruch Hashem, has a whole family of kids now. You think we look back and say, he had a Shabbat Shalom in his house? No, right? That's what they decided to do. Happens to be they did it because of their situation, not because of financial. Make a wedding in Matalea, right? Nobody remembers the wedding night.
What is he saying?
Nobody wants to go to weddings anymore. Nobody wants to go to dinners, right? Let's be clear about this, right? So I'm helping other people. Right. Wake up. Make a wedding. By the way, there's Matalea in Brooklyn, there's Matalea in Lakewood, and I'm telling you right now, there's only going to be...
So, was er wollten gedacht in is, nehmen die $50 million von Adira Torah, mit alle andere Krepplich, in machen a wedding hall, in jeder einer darf dort Chassana machen. Nicht in a forced way, but als gekollt alle Ashiram zu geben Geld, mach dort Chassana. Wenn a Mensch sehen, oh, die größte Oischer hat Chassana gemacht mit $13,000, ich kenn auch het. Und fertig.
More Takanas halls. It's becoming a real thing. The Sharons just did now a makeup thing, half price. They're doing initiatives that by such
Maybe they can do Karen Island America.
Maybe they're doing the wedding halls. Let them do the wedding halls. It's been a success.
Okay.
You worry about Karen Island America for somebody else. That's the point. Well, let's not throw more. Let them focus on the wedding halls. They're doing a great job. My point is, if you do that, you will not have to take a mortgage on your house.
What do you say?
I want to say something very economics. I took courses in economics. I don't know if it's a Jewish thing, but the way the economy in the Jewish community works is that the rich feed the poor. It has to work like that. Now, that's not a bad or a good thing.
Then wer so feeding the poor?
But you see how this is. You take Laser Shiner, Baruch Hashem, Askin, Parnas, huge Baltstucka. He's doing something where, he's subsidizing a wedding. That just has to happen in more instances. And it has to work like that because there's not enough money in the economic system by certain people to cover tuition and things like that.
Right.
So there's I don't know if anyone knows Adam Smith, The Invisible Hand. This is already I don't know what the audience is, but there's a new type of invisible hand, which is the money going around in the Jewish community. Unequivocally, the money has to come from wealthier people to the poor people for it to be sustainable. When it doesn't happen, where are those people going to get their money? Credit cards.
But I will say...
The lack. In de ogen had du als Achashirim, wie machen sie sein Geld? Man kauft up certain businesses, man zerteilt de business, man sagt aus de andere business, man zult rent, leases. In ogen fällt man bankruptcy for de andere businesses. Es ist fine.
That if it's done in a Masudadiger way, where if you go to these old-time cities in Europe, they had a kupa, they had because it was much more contained, and everyone knew there's a central place. If it's done like that, then there's a chance.
In de grootste Ashirim, zij zijn de spearheads. I'll go back there. Zij zullen zijn de first, was dit is.
Of this really working. But,
Sind ich auch am Breide, Joe? Wie kommt der Geld? Wenn der Oischer soll machen a Shabbos-Chassana, immer soll nur geben Chicken bei der Chassana, hat der Uremann vielen auch het apart, wenn get Chicken bei der Chassana.
Everyone gives in wherever they want, then it's tough,
Okay, so I want to move on to the next topic. Moshe, I'm going to start with you on this. You have a lot of people who are getting ready to date and get married. Maybe they're in yeshiva and they are going to get married, but there's not necessarily a plan in place financially, and they can get married with $0 and 0 cents in their bank account. Would you say that it's not exactly a good idea, and that maybe the financial thinking decision?
Ze darf man auch unheim reden von geben, die alle meine Sachen in Heider. Von was fängt man sich Sorgen hinter der Kippa? Sie kennt sein, sie geht kommen Bills. Sie geht auch kommen Bills. So confused.
With someone who, in fact, needs to work, needs to make money to have to support a family.
In ich do as a Sache, als in Jerusalem, kann man gassen Fahrgeld, in Buvel, ja, so steht, als in Buvel soll man nicht gassen bis man hat Geld, für was? Wenn ihr Jerusalem mit du Geld, die du Aschira mit sollen dich heraushelfen. In den Buvel gibt man nicht kein Geld. Und man kann nicht gassen halt Geld. Steht nicht etwas so? Steht nicht etwas so in der Rambam oder somewhere? Oder man hat das conveniently herausgerissen?
Family, like, of course, if there's in-laws and parents who are going to bankroll them, it's let's put that over there on the top shelf. But for the Hamanam, you have to actually be making money to live. Is it too late to wake up at 20?
Of course it's too late. Man weckt sich auf, heißt 15 Minuten vor der Kasse. Wie geht der Bucher machen, gell? Wie bist du gewähnt von der 13, von der 14, von der 15, von der 16, von der 17? All these good, crazy years, hat man just gelost wasten.
25 or 26 to do that?
I would say, like, as far as money in your bank account, I don't know if that's a necessity. What you need is a plan. That's what you need, a plan.
How do you have a plan?
Either the wife works, the husband works, but if you come in without a plan, that's disaster. And again, I would just to bring up a shout out, really, part of your plan is life insurance.
What?
That's a big piece of it because it's not expensive.
I know, but that's also like, that's
I've got life insurance. Wieso tut man the bills? Wieso tut der rent? Wieso tut der mortgage?
that's an exit plan. Like, that's a plan.
No, but that's
You know,
just a
it's
good
important.
Ze geht zu oben. Ze geht zu oben. So auch het geht zu oben jede heute ist a vacation. So auch het geht zu oben a summercar mit a wintercar. So auch het geht. Alles is geht.
And I know it's important,
It's a good
but that's not going to help you pay for
Maar dafür ist dafür der Grie Brooklyn. Was du hast Sachen, man waste a so viel Zeit in Yeshiva. Wenn die wachst daran an Yeshiva, kannst du fragen der Yeshiva, okay, wer ist du ein Lernerboy? Und da waren 4. Der Rest kann gehen zur Trade School.
you know,
You have to have a financial
Rent.
plan. I'm just
Wie soll mein Financial Plan? Ich bin in Yeshiva, hat gut nicht gedacht, hat sich geschockelt. Hat gut nicht getan. Jetzt hat mein Financial Plan. Jetzt bei der Chippe, du hast Switch und fertig. Jetzt geht werden the most responsible dude ever.
giving an example. Fine, let's not deal with the exit planning. God forbid. Your first
Who should make the financial plan?
a financial planner.
No, for the chassan?
They should come together, and I've done this before. They should come together, the husband or the future husband and the wife, sit down with a planner and create a plan. Who's making the money? What does a budget even look like? Who's going to be paying for this, paying for that? If you go in with the plan, it doesn't mean you don't need money in the bank account.
Let me understand something.
Is ook nicht Geld in der Bank. Meint sie sagen, ist ein Fach in der Hand. Something, a chisel, kennen etwas, a IT, a Jens, a das, whatever. Just saying, du hast so viel Arbeit. Mit so viel Sachen, was man kennt hin. Ist ein Farmer, for crying out loud.
Because I'm,
here we
I'm
go.
trying to figure out, what world I live in and what world you live in.
Yeah.
Couple gets engaged, jumping, it's amazing, everything's great, all smiles, and Baruch Hashem should be. Huge simcha, they get married. And then they either go to Israel, they go to Lakewood, and which one of those couples are coming to you?
Sucht das und es ist so gerecht and you can see how wrong it is. Die machst häusig von deinem eigenen Kind.
The ones that are going to Israel.
someone's paying for their life.
I'm saying
That's
they're
what
not
do you mean,
thinking-
which- what do
that
you
means that couples getting married.
Du, der Mensch auf der rechten Seite, hat gemacht ein Mistake. Er hat gesagt, dass man soll machen. Man darf es unheimlich Sach für dem. Sach für dem.
When are they coming to you? At what point? When they come back from Israel? Before they go to Israel to be supported for the next year or two?
When,
With zero.
Man expect einer, wo sie gesitzen bei der Gemüde für 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 Jahre, sie all of a sudden jetzt, boom, jumpt man a job? And why is that?
Plan.
Ja, obviously, der äußere Sinn geht bekommen a job, weil sie du a opening, bedorten ihn du und lot ihm ran. Weil kennt ihn. Hat ihm a Teufel. Wo wird sich mit dem Schmack arbeiten in a warehouse? What is
And
this?
when they come back, most of the times there's already a child or two.
Well, we have to
They're
really,
already behind the 8 ball.
we have to really say who we're talking about here.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
Not if it's someone, if it's someone being supported.
I'm saying no, but my point is that not a lot of people do it.
Oh, so they don't. That's,
don't.
that's my
He's
point.
saying they don't.
That's,
He's saying they
that's what they should.
Lebt in einer anderen Welt. Hat a Rolex, hat a Rolli auf sein Hand, jener? Hat a Rolli, die kommen zu a Show, und davon mal Rolli. Da waren für jeder einer, wie geht's geht, man?
You need a plan.
The same way you want people before they get married to get life insurance, he's saying they should have a financial plan for not when they die, when they live.
I'm
Right.
with you
Very well.
100%.
Der Problem ist, als wenn einer wird husten in man geht zu der Financial Planner, hat umkicken der Financial Planner, wie er ruge trasket von der Lavuna. tut kicken an Tat, ich verstehe nicht. Das mir geschickt nach Heider, was man gut nicht ausgelernt. Ich habe noch gut nicht keinmal nicht getan. Ich habe nicht gedacht, balance, not budget. Ich habe noch gut nicht gedacht, ich habe noch keine Schuld, Rent, anything. Jetzt willst du, ich soll werden responsible?
So isn't it on the parents?
Immer zult schon so viel Geld in Fachaduram. At least soll man sie auslernen, gute financial situations. Und ich bin sicher, als wenn ein Heider lernt aus gute financials, mit gute skills, mit gute Arbeit, und man get mehr attention zu den Kindern, wo sie will, hält sie Sach mehr Aschiram, und die Kinder dann zurückgeben Geld, weil man es macht teuf.
Why should it be on the parents?
So who
This
should
guy's
be
old
on?
enough to get married. He should be old enough to have a plan for how he's going to pay for
No. Das ist ausgereist der Krippel. Hast du ihm gesagt, was ist important ist, er mit der Hit auf dem Gas nicht trefft, nicht kaschidig. Das ist die most important Sache. In dieser, wo es hat. Ja, Tati, ich gehe mit der Hit, ja, okay. And that's it.
It's common
All
sense.
All of a sudden, jetzt suchst du 20 und jetzt soll er sich geben, mal shape up.
Yes, I don't know if it's like you need a parent to tell
So
you
you
that.
think-
but yeah, sometimes
so-
maybe.
And just imagine, a Tata sucht er es bei der 20. Fahr der Gassana. A little too late.
You're being silent on the fact that people have common sense. I think our whole conversation.
No. Som a Basser, Brooklyn, huh?
For the last, I don't know how long, shows that a lot of people don't have common sense. No, I'm saying
Sie lacht, of course, Menschen haben nicht common sense. Wenn Menschen haben common sense, sind nicht du der Podcast. Sitzt mir nicht immer red.
no. That's what I'm trying to say. We're trying. I mean, say I want to.
I don't know if it's common sense
I
or
wanna-
laziness. I don't know
Sie
which.
nicht laziness. Man hat gut nicht... Ein Kind geht der Heider, man hat ihm keinmal gut nicht gesucht. Man hat nicht gerät für kein Interest, man hat nicht gerät für kein Compound Interest, man hat nicht gerät für kein Investment, man hat nicht gerät, leg er weg, mach das, man hat nur gewiss, dass jener geht Geld in jener flieht mit der Helikopter. Und ich will sagen, wie jenem, that's it. Wie soll, wo, wenn, wie... Gar nicht.
Whatever it is.
I personally, I think
it's a big problem.
It's both. It's both.
So
It's
both is a
laziness.
problem. So
Laziness.
both are not going to solve the problem, right? So I want to come out of here today with some type of solution, right? So I think I threw out some good ideas, right, about our other topics,
we're
right?
talking about young couples now.
Right. So honestly, why shouldn't it be?
This episode,
Ah, man. Bekommt Sponsors. Wieso bekommt man Sponsors? I guess, noch mach ein paar Phone Calls. Ob einer weiß, was einer will sponsern nach Podcast, oder als damals der Show, let me know.
University Smicha program, there's a whole, you know that in the Yeshiva University Smicha program, there's a whole financial part of it to talk to young couples about
the
finances.
yeshiva Welt does not identify with that.
so-
So hij brengt een passaraya van een plaats wie keiner.
So fine. So I'm just throwing out there what's out there, right?
Ik mag gewiss, dass man darf zusammenstellen $100 million als Koilingen laat zo'n lenen. Maar man is gehad een cycle die Oostlenen Kinder die alle Sachen. Heranbringen Curriculum in schools. Deze hat man gehad een cycle. Später bei der Gassen hat sie reisen jede Meinung von $400 a Woche. Sie $800 a Woche, oder whatever the case may be. Und jetzt ist alles anyways darauf. Alle Rente ist darauf. Man hat gut nicht aufgedient dort. Lechaim.
We don't have to do what they do. We can do something for us, right? But that's where they're spending their time, right? At the end of the day. So what's the solution
Ich weiß nicht, welche Seiger er hat. Ob einer sieht, welche Seiger er hat, lass mal wissen.
to a bacher that's in BMG, right?
Mhm.
And he comes back and he's
Ja, I get you, Levi. I get you.
dating and it's great and he gets married and he doesn't know that he
No,
now
it's
has to financially plan.
Just imagine. So was nicht. So something is wrong mit an upbringing. Something is wrong mit an Heider system.
Do you think maybe that the fact that there is or has become such a given that a couple is going to get support for X amount of years after they get married, no matter
Oh, it's a
what?
disaster.
Do you think that takes that makes it
Welche
so
Seiger hat
abnormal for them to
Yeah.
think about? Oh, I need a budget. No,
Einer weiß der Seiger. Und von was hat gekauft, der Seiger? Weil jeder in Schiel, jeder einer hat a Mariner, Submariner. So ihm ist auch getuben als Submariner. Und wenn du hast der AP, bist du noch besser.
we're getting supported.
Absolutely.
Der Belt ist auf Ferragamo. Hat man auf Ferragamo Belt und sucht für jenem zu machen. Exactly.
We live off, we're treated till we're 23, 24 or whatever.
That's early.
And that's early, yeah.
Wie sucht man, wenn man wacht daran in Schiel, man hat einen Seiger, kratzt man sich den ganzen Tag in den Kopf, also, like, oh. Einige fragen, wie viel Seiger es ist? Sie gehen einmal auf sich Husten und bekommen einen sehr scheinen Hustenseiger. Und gefahren mit den Händen draußen von der Kar. Und trocken durchgefahren und geben einen Hack auf die Hand. Geht da schreit, oi, mein Seiger! Kein.
You know, I don't know what it is today. Maybe things have
read the comments on the podcast.
But the support factor takes away.
I mean, I'm happy for someone if they can't afford to support their child. I'm happy for them to support their child.
Nog
But I still think it's so important that they need to empower that child to make the financial decisions.
Bada Chassana. Just man wacht erop zu de gippe weg en dingen zingt man bij de gippe. Whatever, en man zingt hi da da, man brengt erop de goesen. Son, yeah, es geht kommen Bills, okay? Fangen wir machen jetzt ein Businessplan. Bei der Gippe, man wacht erop bij de gippe is the perfect timing. Talk about timing.
And to have a budget and to like if a parent is giving.
In by the way, es geht daran dezelfde Sache. Wenn man fängt zu machen Geld, fängt man nur geben zu ducken, wie so viel geht. Und jeder hat sehen, und jeder hat kommen, und mit gehen mit der Ferragamo-Belt, und mit gehen mit der Zeiger, und jeder hat sehen, wie geht ich bin. Zijn we het geschissen wie kliek. Maar man middag om die tijden belts. Verstehst?
X amount, like I'd almost like make it a test here. Like Tati's giving $10,000 a month collectively to Yenam. Yenam, how much are you spending each month?
Yeah.
If the kid says 10,000, Tati's not giving 10,000.
It looks like a Panda Rolex sub. So wie de lefty gegangen auf a News Channel eintog reden wegen der Rich. Und man sieht, wie er $50,000 eiger. So selber sagt, Kim, du mit einem scheinem Belt mit anderen Sachen. Man spendet wie mit unisch.
Anymore. Like,
Und wie weiß der von einer Ferragamo-Belt? Ich habe gemeint, dass man sitzt und man lernt den ganzen Tag und man geht verkollen, was man will und all of a sudden versteht man.
Shouldn't be as a young couple, you should not be spending more than X amount. And if you don't train that muscle in those kids, then look at what we have. We have adults. We have 40-year-olds that are making these decisions.
But I want to speak to that. I do want to speak about the even you said even if parents could afford, and again, everyone could do. It's great, amazing. They should. But I want to just tell you there's something called. I don't know if you guys are familiar with these two.
Sally, you don't tell your kid you give a choice. Man sucht them. Man geht leigen Geld du. Die geist nicht chassen mit $100,000. Die geist nicht huben a levish chassana. Fertig. Enjoy life. That's it. Und again, sie fängt sich schon bei der Chassana. Sie fängt sich schon von als Bucher, von als Mitzvah, von als Kind. Man lernt aus den Kindern, macht Chores mit Kindern. Man legt das heran in der Bank-Account. Man legt das heran in whatever investment. Und man weiß, dass der Kind Kicks ist darauf gegangen. Für den vorigen heute ist das daran gelegt $100. Jetzt hast du $106. Wow, sie wächst. Fangt du de muscle in de kop gaan. Oh, wow, du hast gesagt, man like du Geld in so fort, und man macht mehr, in wow. Rather spenden in the store $50 oder a 20er, kannst du heranlegen $10. Wie schein wollt es gewinnen? Du suchst für ein Kind, I give you an allowance for $20 in the store, und die Kind dreht sich aus und sagt, you know what? I'll put in $10 in my savings oder in the investments, und ich will kaufen etwas für 10. I think that's a good start. I think that's a good way of living. Und wenn man kommt schon uns in der Kasse, dann hat der Kind sagen, na, geben wir nicht $100,000. Lass mir es investen. Können leben mein ganzes Leben mit Ruhigkeit. Können gehen auf Vacations ruhig, können bezahlen das Limit, können zahlen die alle Sachen von meinen Kindern. Und dann darf man etwas special mehr. In späterer Life kann man sich auch sagen, nein. Man kann sagen, nein, ich will das nicht oben.
It's 2 words called interest rates.
Und was darf oben als mein Belt? Ein regular Belt halt nicht die Häusen, nur ein Ferragamo-Belt halt dem Häusen.
Full familiar with interest rates, right?
Yeah.
So I'm in real estate for 15 years. 2013, 14, 15, 16, 17, people were buying buildings in New York City. You couldn't get your hands on a building, okay? I remember I would call somebody in the middle of the night.
That's not true. You think in 2017, I put my 2 hands on the building. Being funny.
And I would tell him 50 units in Washington Heights. And he would say to me, 200 a door. $250,000 a door. Didn't look at a rent.
By the way, also arbeite so gut auf in nursing homes. Man verkauft Betten. Man treat us nicht wie human beings.
Roll 15, 16 times the rent. Banks were lending. I'm telling you, it's Eretz Zovas Chalav Dvash. Money was flowing in the streets of New York, right? And
Man kennt meinen, als wenn das Eretz Chalav Dvash ich gekommen zu raten, als man das geht gegennehmen. Man hat es gespendet auf Ferragamos, man hat es vergessen auf Schiech, man hat es vergessen auf ein Peisach-Programm.
And people were buying. And in 2019, with a stroke of a pen in the governor's mansion, a law went into effect, changing all the rent stabilization laws.
Damals hat man gesingen, der Rate soll auch kommen, nein?
People's net worth went down by 50% overnight.
Excellent.
Now, when you have a
Sin is gewesen real. It wasn't real.
building that you have, let's say it's worth $10 million.
Wat er ausgenommen jede mortgage von dem building ist, wat er ausgesagt, jeder Inch von dem building hat man ausgesagt. Und dann ist er gegangen, ein bisschen Problem, so gegangen, wo steht man?
Now it's worth 5.
Ja?
But your debt is 7.5.
Wo ist er ausgenommen der Debt?
That means your building is worthless. You're negative equity. You can't even sell it, which means now to go through foreclosure, you're going to mess up your credit, mess up your name, right? You're done, right? This has happened to many, many, many families. Then everybody said, oh, great, New York, right? Out of state, Georgia, Alabama, Mississippi, wherever you could name it, the Yid went. And then interest rates dropped. Interest rates went up, right?
Oh, das hat man takke gesehen. The interest rates, all takke ook immer. Ich denke, Pieren bei seinem Platz. We shall not name names. Immer singen. Interest rates will drop.
3.5%, 4%.
Als gehabt, als gehabt heiße Potatoes. Bist nicht gewinn so klick.
5%, 6%. And then they said, survive till 2025. Well, guess what? We're almost at the end of 2025. Foreclosures, people haven't gotten distributions in forever. So when that person makes a decision to support his child, right? You should just know, it doesn't matter how much money you have. I'm telling you, go into the market, right? You know, there are tons of people with tremendous wealth that's tied up in real estate. That means that they don't know what's going to be, right? So it's critically important.
But am Gebot aber der große riesige Haser. Bei der Times ist des getan sie gemacht riesige Hasanas. Wir gefahren auf jetzt Roll. Ich denke, ich habe gearbeitet für einem, meaning ich bin gewinn close zu einem. Und ich denke, ich habe Tanas auf etwas certain Sache, als ich gehe, whatever, so, ich kann Geld, aber sie haben gemacht riesige Partys, für dort gewinn Geld.
Teach the child, even if you're giving them, right? Financial responsibility.
Can you zoom into the watch again? I'll try.
Because otherwise, you have
halt dir eine Hand conveniently up.
no idea what's going to happen. I'm telling you. And then as you get older, it's called grandkids, right? I know families that have went away for Pesach to hotels. As the family grew, they had to downgrade to a mansion and a reunion in Orlando.
Wir gedacht dangren, bleiben daheim. Man baut sich ein riesige, scheine, große Haus mit Bedrooms und Sachen. Also, als Pesach soll man keiner wegfuhren auf ein Programm.
Because the hotel got too expensive. And then what happens? They come to the hotel.
So gehen wir jetzt zurück. Keiner da. Nehm mich heraus dann eigentlich. Nehm mich heraus. Kein nicht gebeten. Schick nicht ins Seminary. Hat das nicht früh gesagt? Bleiben daheim.
Everyone's complaining that they only get 2 rooms, right? There's no closet space, right? It's never ending, right? So if you take on this burden of supporting your children, just know one thing. It's your children, it's your grandchildren, and then when you're not here...
If I was kannst du nicht geben education. Gib education, das denn nicht.
Everything falls apart, okay? Because the generation that you
Lass mal sehen, sie mir können ranzoomen und das Eiger. Hold on.
built.
Hold on. Whoop. Hold on. YouTube. No.
Are unmotivated, not educated about financial responsibility at all, and they have no idea how to deal with it on their own.
I heard Kevin O'Leary speak. You were there, Nissan. We heard Kevin O'Leary speak, and he said
Of course, closet space, Sally. If you come to a Pesach program and you wear the same dress again, Pesach is over. And if the first day you come down to the meal and you see another table with another woman that has the dress that you're going to wear tomorrow, a family meeting. Darf man oben? A family meeting. What
are we wearing tomorrow?
That's how it goes.
he was flying first class overseas to Switzerland to visit his father with his son. And he sat in first class and his son flew coach. And his son said, Dad, why? His son was 17. He said, why am I flying coach? He's like, Dan, because you have no money. And I do.
Shaq hat gesagt für die Kinder, I am rich, not you. Ich bin reich.
And you need to earn things in life.
Right.
And he told his son, he sat down with his kids, by the way.
Most people can't, sadly. I mean, ich habe schon gewitnessed this, Sally. Ich bin schon gewesen involved, meaning I was around people like that. And their whole yontiv, after spending numerous amounts of money, numbers, just because of a dress, the whole Pesach program was done. Everybody was bitching. Everybody was upset. Favus, weil Branda, whatever, gegangen mit der Dress, wo die es gedacht gehen für morning lunch meal. And by the way, whoever rief Shabbos meals, lunch, extra problem for sich.
He sat down with his kids and he told them, he said, I will continue to give you money and you will have a trust fund and you will what was it? He's like, I will continue to support you as long as you're in school. Okay? As long as you're in school, you get supported by me. Okay. His kid's in high school. His kid knows that he's Kevin O'Leary's son. What's his plan? His father sits down with him and says, you're flunking right now. You're not going to get any colleges to take you. His son said, okay. And if I don't go to college, he said, let me remind you, I'm giving you money only as long as you're in school. Meaning if you don't get into college, I'm not giving you any more money. And if I don't give you any more money, that doesn't matter what your last name is. It's not much for you. And the kid, he got very, very scared. He really, really turned his life around in high school. He started doing very well to the point where he went to an engineering school in college. And he's like supposedly a top software engineer at Tesla right now. And he's making the money himself because his father, who is a billionaire, told him that you are not getting this just because I have it. Now, if you look into the frum world, that doesn't, I'm not saying it should exist because, you know, it could be you say he's not
generous.
That's disgusting. He's not taking care of his kids, yada, yada. I'm sure each of those kids.
I mean, again, die likes darauf dein Kind of a certain lifestyle, it's your fault. Like nicht darauf dein Kind of a lifestyle. Man kann sagen nein.
Had trust funds and each of those kids had whatever. But are we taking the yoke of responsibility? Are we not teaching our kids responsibility by giving them everything unconditionally?
The reason for was man get das for the kind, is, well, derselbe reason was man macht die größere Chasana. Man sagen, als ich nämlich care. Care, of course.
Well, I would say, first of all, we're very smart people. Klal Yisrael is very smart, very determined. It's not as difficult as it sounds. To what you were saying, Shmuley, what I come across is you have two people, Ruvain and Shimon, who are always the two people, right? Ruvain went to when he was employed, he went to his 401k plan in the company, which is a company retirement plan, and he pressed, I want to participate. He pressed the button, participate in the company retirement plan. Shimon didn't press that button. Ruvain at $50 per paycheck for 40 years going into his retirement account. Shimon did not. Ruvain will retire. Shimon will not retire. One button. It takes one conversation to get educated in financial planning. If you're engaged, anyone who's out there, anyone who's married, or even if you're not, I had 15-year-olds reach out to me. That's also fine. Education, it takes one conversation.
Education.
Not so hard. So even if you're not, Kevin O'Leary or anyone too money savvy, it doesn't matter. Just speak to someone and get educated.
How do we get that picked up?
Da Schirem. Derselbe Sache, wie man hat verstanden, aber man darf machen für Keul. Das darf man. Derselbe Menschen. Was man macht da Sifa. Man darf etwas kennen, man viel Liquid. Sie sollen machen da Sifa.
Responsibility. I mean, if parents continue to give their kids everything until Chas Hashem, the well runs dry, we're having, I'll tell you what we're having, okay? I'll read to you something that has surfaced over the last
Wieso ist geworden agent? How does that work?
Couple days. And I think this is a result of what we're discussing about the concept of money is just a piece of paper and doesn't actually have actual value. A caterer's wife who handles business books, told me the following this past summer. You have no idea how much we're owed. How many of these blowout Kadeshim are being paid over 6 months? How many bits and pieces trickle in from various different LLCs, zells from a million different people to pay for that person's single Kiddush, if only people knew.
Where did you see
I saw that on CBN.
CBN. I love CBN.
Yeah. So that, for example, like that is a result of that child.
He got lucky. Nice.
Growing up, not understanding that things cost money. Money is an actual thing that you need to have to pay for stuff. And then they just do the actions without the actual money. And that's what we have. And then it looks everyone else sees it and thinks it's normal. So we're really operating on smoke and mirrors.
Yep.
Well, I would say in your case,
Dezelfde weg wie geht mit der scheine Belt, mit der scheine Zeiger. Hat es mit dem Auge gekauft, weil zweiten. Ich sogar, wenn ich habe ein Geld, wollte ich halt im gedreht Society. Wir gehen mit der Zeiger. Nächste Woche change mit der Zeiger. All of a sudden wollte ich trinken Tequila. Und noch dann wollte ich rübergegangen zu Bourbon. Noch wollte ich rübergegangen zu Short Pants. Der Eulen wollte nicht mithalten. By the time der Eulen wollte mitgekommen mit mir, wollte ich schon gehalten bei der dritte Sache. Ich wollte sogar 4 bei der Nuss.
So what I see is a lot of business owners don't know what it means to have a bookkeeper. So I've seen businesses that are so disorganized where this could be solved if you just had one bookkeeper instead of you doing it on your, by yourself with QuickBooks. Get a bookkeeper, pay the money, pay a salary. People cannot lay out money for employees. Understand if you pay money for an employee, you will get more back in return. That kind of employee, like a bookkeeper, could help this person out. I don't know.
A lot of smoked salmon.
Well, this person.
Shavita, huh?
Maybe they have one. I don't know.
I don't think that's the problem. I think this person.
I've seen it. I've seen
this person doesn't understand. They did the thing without the money.
Yeah, I'm not judging them, but this is also just something I wanted to bring up. Get a bookkeeper.
Didn't RSK start financial coaching? Is that
they also do financial coaching, and it's I think it's imperative if you're.
But they're already dealing with the crisis.
No, not necessarily.
No,
is it?
They're dealing later.
Mainly,
People meaning to say not Matas Gilbert, who does a tremendous amount for college, but he has people that are coming to him after.
Is er overgekomen auf a show, was man geht reden von Financials und Sachen mit a beautiful shine Zeiger.
They need it.
But he also wants people coming before they need it.
Of course, he wants to, but we're discussing how do we get it at the roots.
So maybe again, like classes, financial coaching, life insurance.
Should tell their kids to just sit and have a conversation with a planner. Just one conversation.
Okay,
they'll show you what a budget sheet is, and you just put the numbers in. Fine. Get an app. A million apps.
I will say a conversation with a financial planner. Or a lawyer, for example. I went a couple of months ago, did my will for the first time, and it really got me thinking. Like, it's not a conversation you want to have. It's not a conversation that's geschmack. But if you sit down with a lawyer and you start discussing guardianship and power of attorney, and you walk out of there, you're like,
Sadly, how it works is with the watches that somebody buys it, and all of a sudden everybody looks at it, and then he goes somewhere and he has a watch guy. Every Jew has a watch guy. And keiner tut nicht der Preis. Everybody pays. Oh, what a sale I got. Wie macht das? Wie sagt der Comedian? Sein Bruder, gewinnt ein Rebbe. Jackie Mason. Oh, what a watch. Always got it at a deal. A good deal. And by the way, wenn so fuhren Peisach in ein Hotel, in der Zeiger soll sich zerbrechen, fahr Peisach, done. The ganze Programm is done. Nicht der Zeiger, das ist nicht schön. By mistake is it nicht into the shirt, by the way.
Albert Kahn is very keen on is
but if you go
and he loves it.
You want to grab lunch after you have no appetite. It's like you decided.
So you don't eat that day.
No, my point is that if you sit down with even a young couple, they sit with a financial planner. I think it's extremely important because that starts their brain thinking.
Why would you start thinking 2 Wochen nach der Chassana? Keiner weiß nicht, dass der Chassana kommt. Keiner weiß nicht, dass der Bucher geht werden älter.
Oh, he said this and he said that.
And it's so easy.
Because we're human, Sally. And everybody wants to be a part of the circle. It's going to always come back to that. Everybody wants to be in the circle. And the circle is just rising. Everybody is better than the other, which is normal, weil jeder eine will sein der Top Leader. Es wächst, fuhrt darauf. Bis wird crazy numbers. Und noch fangen Menschen kämpfen an. Und Menschen fangen pushing the boundaries. Und man fängt Team crazy Sachen. Man nimmt daraus Bills, credit cards, weil jeder eine will sein top.
Right.
To write a will now, it could take 20 minutes.
Yeah.
You go to LegalZoom, and I do this for people. LegalZoom, we go through the guardianship, and it's a simple will. Sometimes it'll get more complicated with trusts, but right now, just get it out of the way.
Yeah, I have a lot of questions that I think were sent in anonymously that people want to see tackled on this topic. So I'm going to try to get to it. We're going to try to do some rapid fire in a way. So you're going to
just say no.
You hear this question and you'll just give your 2 cents.
It doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way, Sally. Yes, they're smart, but they're still human.
Cents on it. What should young couples do to help afford housing? Houses in New York, New Jersey go for $2 million with a high interest rate. How is anyone young supposed to afford a house today?
There's no one answer to that. Sit with a planner.
No.
I'm serious. There's no one answer. You have to know a million questions. Where's the money coming from? What's the income? What's that? Could you put down 5%? You put down 3%? Do you want to do
I know, but they can't be paying.
P&I insurance?
But they're supposed to be paying rent for they're throwing out money every month on rent.
Sit with a planner. There's no one. That's my point. There's no.
Get the same.
Sit with Shmuley Hartstein.
Okay.
Sit with Shmuley Hartstein.
Try to give you some solutions. Okay.
Housing.
I'm going to tell you what was done. I could just tell you in Linden, when the Hasidim started moving into Linden, they formed a committee and they created a circle and they had one yeshiva, one maisid, one shul. And if you wanted to be part of that community, you could only buy a house through the committee and you had to start buying on the outskirts.
It's like communism. Like,
but that's the way to keep prices down.
Oh, früher hat gesagt, oh, Socialism. Jetzt busy mit dem, was es geht.
Otherwise, look what
And by the way, wer macht darauf the price? Who makes up the price? It's usually the Yidden.
happens to every one of our communities.
I know, it's
Right? And then who ends up buying the most
Die Jiden kaufen die Hase und noch verkaufen sie es für andere Jiden. Was geht darauf der Preis?
expensive ones? The people that get it
But
from their
practically
parents.
speaking, Shmuley, like, what are you gonna, like a practical person?
Nothing. No, I don't have an answer then.
There's no
That's it.
one
Er
answer.
hat gesagt, die ganze Sache und hat es. I have the answer. Blip, blip, blip. No answer.
Right. Meet
There's
with
no
a
one
planner.
answer.
I
But sit-
think the answer, guys. I'm shocked none of you said this, but
Yeah.
move out of town.
No,
Don't
but
live in New York,
McKenna-
New Jersey.
people don't want.
Man kann nicht. Not that people don't want to. Man kann nicht herausmuffen. Man darf oben Mami. Hast du gemacht Krippels? Jetzt ist er rausmuffen? Jetzt? All of a sudden, jetzt ist er brazen rausmuffen?
Do
Oh,
that, Nachi.
Don't live in New York, New Jersey. Well, then you're not going to be living in a house.
So
Wie soll man wohnen? Man darf oben Mami, man darf oben Tati, man darf oben die Community. Otherwise bist du gut nicht. Jiddischkeit kennst du nicht. Die kennst dich muff mal weg, weil Aid ist du nicht an und financially ist du nicht an.
Or there might be another way. There are
Which
ways.
is?
There's no one way. You can find the income. You can create a plan budget-wise. You don't have to put down 20% to get a house. That's a,
Oh, so you should put down what, 10%, and then mortgage.
And then your monthly payment is
and then
$13,000?
mortgage yourself up to
Depends.
Wazoo on
Income
7%.
projections.
Is that what the planner
no?
advised?
Oh, schon. Macht häusig.
It's not one answer.
Okay.
There's no one answer, but you know projections.
And women are not allowed to drive as well. Yeah, good one, Heise Hussein.
You see, I have people that have done this. They never thought in their lives
Why,
they're going
G?
to buy $1 million houses, but
Hello and
they did
welcome.
it. At that point, interest rates were low, so we used some of that. They didn't put down the full amount, and they're still fine.
I think people should just go out of town, I guess.
Yes.
What amount of income makes it worthwhile to fall off government programs?
Oh, basta fam. Auch eine Sache.
I don't know. I've never had that question before.
Nicht gedealt mit kein Chassidim, I tell you.
You're a financial planner on the 5
Why would you want to ever get off of government programs? Oh, you're saying, because of the tax? Okay, so that's very individualized also. I can't answer that. There's no cookie cutter answer to
Es lohnt sich nicht. Du Menschen, was lohnt sich, ist, sie machen Geld, weil sie gar nicht verlieren so viel Income.
how much income. No.
All right,
Very-
next.
Wait, is government, you talking about subsidies from your parents or subsidies?
Like some people
What's
want to
that?
know.
You talking about
And by the way, sie du viel mit Haser, was man verdient, was hat Section 8, was ist, wegen dem ist es $3,500. Das ist der Riesen.
subsidies that you
Ich meine
get?
$5,000, weil Section 8 bezahlt. Jetzt hat der Government schaut an, ob man sehen, was das sich. Lass mal sehen, sie hat bleiben sie gemacht. Ob man sehen. Wir sehen die Repercussion of them.
From your parents, subsidies from the government.
Government.
What's the difference in subsidies you're getting from your parents? It's the same subsidy.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not. It's not. Because dann Tate, das du nicht wasen kann Papers. Und auf viele, die machst ja Geld, you still get it. Und bei der Government, die machst just enough, tax man dich into the wazoo, kannst du schon gut nicht stehen.
Another question came in not too long ago. You
Push them are done next week. But if the government stays shut down, huh? So let's see what happens.
posted a video of a financial advisor saying that in order to be financially stable for the middle class, it's only possible if they receive help. Ta-da! That's very discouraging for hardworking middle class families. What do you say?
Yeah. So when I used help, there's two things. You need more money. That's the main thing I said. But what I find is all the time, 90+% of the time, it's family help. So the facts are you need more money. The way it's being done, very commonly, 90% of the time, is through family help.
I know, but that's very discouraging for for a husband and wife who are working their tail off and they still need to ask for help.
It's you have to work very, very hard.
Als beide arbeiten, immer beide beten für help, there is something wrong. Something terribly wrong. Als je doet 2 incomes and you still have to ask for help, there's something terribly wrong with this situation.
Hard, yes, but there are ways to make it happen. There are ways to just take you. If you realized how much is needed to take you over that hump.
Is there any way to do that without asking for help to get over that hump?
Yeah. I'm telling you, a lot of people ask for a raise. I'm telling you, people became financially secure for asking for a $6,000 raise. And they took all that money and now they saved it. That's one thing. A lot of the others have, their wives or them created a side hustle. Easy. In America, you can make $500 a month easily.
Right.
If people would know, yes, they're working hard and it's discouraging, I get it. And you might need to work harder. But if you realized what a little bit more can do for your financial plan, you'd be very motivated to do it.
What do you think about that for this discouraged family in the middle class that is hearing that they need to do even more than they're doing, which is a lot in society standards?
Look at Ellie.
Ellie who?
Society standards. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. How many side hustles does Ellie have and his wife?
Sells
they work their tails off.
They do.
Right? So that's the American dream.
But that is not the American dream. The American dream is dat die kannst haben mit ein Household income, haben a house, a Wab, Kinder, a car, in haben genug to enjoy life.
Yeah, Chef Lobby, but that's the American dream. The American dream is
I guess you're right.
American dream is no one's giving you anything, and you're gonna have to hustle.
Never thought I'd say Ellie Lowenberg is the solution to this problem.
Yeah, I mean,
you open an Amazon thing,
right?
Even Amazon. What we don't know yet. Even over Amazon thing.
There's 10 different thousand side hustles.
But there's game kind education, but the side hustle is the Sache.
No, I rented apartments.
Wusstet ihr, der mit der Seiger mit dem Schein am Belt, was darf nicht gehen?
Saying without saying is, yes, it's discouraging, but get up off the ground, brush yourself off, and do it.
Right.
And it's not so hard.
Und auch wenn gewinnt jünger, hat nicht live gekostet, so sag Geld. Einer, was arbeitet 2 Jobs, wenn geht leben? A ganzen Tag hat den Job. Nur damit oben Side Hustles. Wenn leben.
It's just a little bit more.
By the way, it's a much better feeling to hustle and make a few dollars extra than to ask for money.
Right.
That's right.
People say we are all overspending on things that are not necessary, but at the end of the day, from life is expensive no matter how much you try to cut costs. Even on basics, the lifestyle is expensive. Shabbos, Yontif, multiple kids to dress, tuition, even with discounts. There's no way to get around it.
I'm not a magician.
I agree with that person. I agree.
Yeah, I agree with them too.
I agree. This is the life. Now, what should you do? We've spoken about it at length, but the truth is, don't feel guilty. That's number one. You should not feel guilty. A lot of people feel very guilty, but why? You're just living regular. That's people always reach out like, what am I doing?
What am I seeing?
You're not doing anything wrong. You're living the regular life. What do you do about it? Okay.
The community to get together in veto. It's highly impossible. Highly impossible. Besides, if they're rich, the same people that decided to make gegen the internet and the ones who make for Kololum and get Geld in andere countries for Essen, they could make it.
Would you say also that, like, in terms of the middle class, that maybe also it's another one of those things I just said, like, maybe look where you're living. Maybe you shouldn't be living in New York, tri-state area. Maybe you should go to Cleveland. Maybe you should go to Chicago, or maybe you should go to out of town where things are more affordable, where the people surrounding you are, more.
Mastermind, I'm not sure what you're saying. I mean, saying like I've been off the community post, but I don't see anything.
Cognizant of what they're spending.
I have 2 uncles that live in Cleveland. They're very happy. No, I'm serious.
Shine, go to Cleveland. He has 2 uncles.
I'm saying
that was funny. Go to Cleveland.
Yes. It goes back to people need to take their own personal responsibility.
Yes. People need to take responsibility. But ook dat die sets them up for failure. What do you want?
You're going to have to make tough decisions.
Yeah.
If you're going to
By
be
the
in
way, I wanna-
poverty living in Lawrence or Muncie, then you shouldn't be living.
Ja, sei gering zu sagen, but you want to feel a part of it.
And the problem is also that you settle in a neighborhood that's
I think that makes sense.
cheap.
No, it does.
You settle in a neighborhood that's very inexpensive, and then 3 years later it becomes expensive. Right, but
If I was wert is expensive.
That's unfortunately the peer pressure. Do you see in your
Peer pressure is als zu leben life. Man geht das an Macha weg. No, you want to be a part of the community. Die willst nicht an der Nebuch, die willst nicht an der one person out. And it's normal human behavior. Für was versteht man das nicht? Und für was combat man das nicht? So wegen dem darf man geben education, mit gute financial Sachen, and then you could work on it.
in your line of work? Do a lot of people come in and the peer pressure is
Yes.
something they bring up?
I wish, people come to me and they have an assumed budget for a bar mitzvah or a simcha, and there's nothing I can say because they're not going to.
Can you tell me what some of those budgets that were mentioned? Like
yeah, I would love to hear.
You just made a
bar
bar
mitzvahs
mitzvah,
are
no?
20
Ja. Is,
each easily.
Wie viel hat bezahlt für seine Sachen, der mit der Zeiger da?
3,000?
Yeah.
I feel like that's a low number.
Very low.
Yeah, but it's
Okay, going very low. 20,000 aber mitzvah. Very low.
a lot of money for these people.
No, I get it, but
saying.
people are coming to you with how much are they allocating towards bar mitzvahs?
I'm saying that's like the starting. Yeah, it's low. But
Then,
that's a
yes?
lot of money for those people. They can't afford $20,000 just
Or
to,
4 weeks ago.
And by the way, that case was out of town. $20,000 out of town, Detroit.
This is what we 90,000 do. What is he
Yeah.
saying?
But yeah, people are assuming a certain budget. I to be honest, we don't really look. I don't look at it. we avoid
Did you post it 4 weeks ago? Was het doen 4 weeks ago?
those conversations after they happen.
Meaning it's in the past, but in the future, if they were saying to you, we need to make bar mitzvah, if someone who's making
Yeah.
250, husband and wife, 4 kids, they say we're making
250 immer noch. We are throwing things in the garbage. Man geht sich aufwecken ein Tag. The America is going to change, yeah? And we're going to see, wow, we had so much money and so much power and we did nothing. We did blue lights. So man geht in narische bar mitzvahs mit chasanas und geworfen Geld in garbage.
bar mitzvah. How much are you going to tell them they can afford on a bar mitzvah? What are you going to tell them?
So if we have time, we prepare for it. I say save $30,000-$40,000 for it.
That's a crazy amount of money.
Mach a bar mitzvah in the
This is what it
backyard.
costs.
Mach a bar mitzvah in the backyard.
Would you ever
In
recommend
Shield.
them not to spend that much money on a bar mitzvah?
Yes.
Yeah, why does it cost that much?
Yeah, why does it cost that much? Kommen von der Fagucci-Belt von der anderen Seite. Why does it cost so much?
Why does it cost that
around
much?
here?
Again, I just said that in Lakewood you can make a wedding for $13,000.
Ja, sag it. Er weiß nicht. Hat keine Ahnung.
But this is not
Someone who
Lakewood.
lives in 5 towns is not going to Lakewood
No,
to
I
make a bar
understand, but
mitzvah.
someone who lives in 5 towns
Lakewood
can make
does
a bar
things-
mitzvah that they can afford. Someone who lives in Muncie can take advantage. The Yeshiva Spring Valley offers a program to, if you don't make a night affair, right? You don't have to make a night affair. They give you a full party in the Simcha Hall, which is Valley Terrace, in the yeshiva at a subsidized price of $1,200 with a full hot menu. You can have your friends, your Rebbeim, the kids' Rebbe's, music, everything there.
So der Oyster soll es machen dort. Immer soll es advertisen.
And it's co-sponsored.
But people feel like then that
Nebuch, yes. Da fühlen wir an Nebuch. Der Oyster macht es nicht dort.
perhaps they feel like they're not.
They want to be original.
So how can I help everybody the way they feel? Then they should
Weil derselbe...
then they need to figure themselves out. I'm giving you solutions. There are tons.
Maar geef maar solution. Schick deine Kinder zu, zu Hamaspik. Solution solved.
of cheaper holes.
Right.
You can do inexpensive. It can be beautiful. Nobody remembers it the next day anyway.
But so wo steht das nicht der Oyster? If nobody remembers, wo steht das nicht?
If people are going to
So wie wenn einer sagt mir, no, learning boy is nothing. So, hast du Tochter gemacht? Na, meine Tochter darf ein learning boy. Das ist meine Tochter, aber generally.
still feel that way, I can't help them.
Mastermind, are you talking about a picture with the star over like 4 weeks ago?
What am I supposed to do? This is the world we live in.
Someone has to buck the trend, But I can't.
And by the way, you talk about bucking the trend during COVID also, that they ran around getting all these wealthy people to sign that they're going to make these small weddings. What, really?
Yeah. that was good. And why didn't they keep it, huh? The Kliege.
Didn't help anything.
Why
you
not?
want-
Why not? Yes, mach ja, weil man will sich zustellen. Weil wenn Moshe, whatever, Oisher walkt daran in Schiel und jeder rein gaat, wow, Moshe, du, Moshe. Ja, jeder will das. Jeder will attention. Don't act dumb. Dezelfde reason voor die hast voor een Gammo belt met dat watch.
to let the wealthy people make their weddings that they could afford.
No.
Let them. Why are you busy with the wealthy people?
Yes, because the wealthy people are the spearheads. The wealthy people are the first ones that create all these problems.
Well, they give tons of tzedakah. Let them enjoy.
So, no, nobody remembers anyways. Now, all of a sudden, so the Uraman kenisht, because nobody's going to remember anyways, but the Oisher, he's allowed to. Jeder kent him, was hij wil. But in just of the conversation, people remember or not? If people don't remember, it's a waste of money. It's same a waste of money for the Oisher.
Life, if they can afford it, let them do it.
No.
Right? No.
Do not let them do it.
It's not about bucking the trend. It's about people looking in the mirror and saying, no
Yeah.
one is going to help me.
Yeah. But jeder will eraan fitten.
No one is there for me, right? I'm sorry.
Family.
And maybe that brother who's giving the help, if
Also geht es. Von was geht man Peisach essen damals? Von was?
their family is out of control, then someone's got to have an honest conversation.
Yes. Mit den Oischer. Als die Menschen kicken dir darauf. You don't understand that? Du ist immer a dumbass?
What else is there to do? It's personal responsibility. We don't live in a regulated society.
Und man darf mer. Ich habe gemeint, sind wir different wie der Goyim. Ich verstehe nicht. Als man spingt wie der Goyim, wo darf man dann die ganze Sache? Als man ist different, und man ist besser, und man ist anders, then why not? Sind du nach Reis? Ich denke, aufwachsen, die haben mir gesagt, als wenn er jittet an der Weide, kann er 2 Tiere zu der Preis. Why doesn't it work that way now? Oh, conveniently will man es nicht.
Everyone can do what they want.
Ja,
right?
and, yeah, of course. But so nach alles du a Weg, wie sie man lebt.
Okay. Closing statements on the conversation as a whole, Moshe. 60 seconds. The floor is yours.
There's a lot of work that needs to be done. There's sometimes too much work. So if it's something that's too much for you to handle, there are professionals that deal with these things. You have to work out your plan. You have to create a financial plan. I mean, that's the best thing I can say.
So I get 30 seconds of his time.
You could take his 30.
I'm just gonna I'm gonna leave with this. Okay, there's a an election right now in New York City
Oh, jeez.
that they're about to elect
Thank
a
you. Hey,
candidate
Volvi.
that, I mean, everybody knows.
We're talking about finances.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna segue into that. That's right. Let me
Yeah.
start again. There's an election right now which we're about to elect a mayor that is not great for business, not good for the Yidden. It's just not.
Oh, all of a sudden, jetzt, wenn es ist not good for business, ist for the Jiden. All of a sudden sind wir a group. Weil der Mann hat nicht gekauft kein Haser, der Mann hat nicht gekauft kein Buildings, nur der Oischer hat gekauft Buildings. Now it's the Jiden. I see what's happening. A Regenzerig hat gesagt, der Oischer kann spenden Geld. Hast gekauft die Buildings, und jetzt einer hat dich screwen. Mach es nicht a group jetzt. All of a sudden, now it's a group. Oh.
And I've been dealing with people.
Oh, der Mensch was zahlt $8,000 Rent. Hat ja lieb, man, Danny.
Last few weeks,
Hey,
there are
Tamasa.
people that want to throw money in to get out the vote. And I think that they finally realize that the ship has sailed because they're in crisis. And I think that, and I speak about this all the time, is that Klal Yisrael reacts to crisis as crisis hits time and time again. And crisis only happens after a long time of something happening. And I said to that person, I said, if that Gevir is going to spend $200,000 to get out the vote, I think that the Mamdani ship has sailed. You have less than 2 months to an election. You have Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, Sukkot in the middle. I'd rather focus a full year on getting Elise Stefanik elected as the Republican governor. But it takes a year of grassroots. And whatever you guys have been doing in Klal Yisrael for the last X amount of time, do something else. And I told this person that that's one thing I would actually work on. And I would copy paste. And the way to get people involved is doing grassroots and getting all the young people. Because at the end of the day, you can't buy the vote. You can buy the advertisements. You can't buy the people. If you look at what Trump did and what Mamdani did and what Charlie Kirk did, right? They got young people involved, make them feel like they're worth something, right? When young people, regular middle-class people, keep opening the newspaper and keep seeing the same names on every single committee, right? People, a lot of those people that did not earn
Good one. Good one.
their right to be there. A lot of people that were, a lot of things were given to them, and they got lucky by Hashem that they have the schus
This is of the wrong hand, the Zeiger.
of giving tzedakah. But I'm talking to a lot of those people. When you ask those people how to actually set something up meaningful, they have no idea how to do it. They're good at giving a check. So let them give a check, right? Let someone that's willing to work. So my point is, out of this entire conversation we had today, if you have an idea, run with it.
No
Run
idea
with
was er
it.
gesagt.
Don't say someone else should run with it.
Du wurde man mit 2 Jobs plus Gigs and Sides und die alle Sachen soll runnen mit der Idee. Derselbe Menschen, was kommen auf, man darf machen Internet-Assiven. Derselbe Menschen, was kommen auf, man darf geben Kollelem Geld für Kollelingelat und auch geben Geld von andere countries. Wenn man fährt einmal ein Jahr, sei es auch nicht. I see.
There are problems. We're not a perfect society. The world is not a perfect world, but there are solutions. I think we spoke about a couple of good solutions here today, right? Someone should run with it. There are needs, run with it. I can't do everything, but there are people.
Nobody's asking you to do it, but whatever.
Right? And that's my closing statement.
I think that people can email in their ideas to nachi@meaningfulminute.org.
Hold on, someone... du geschrieben my picture, though. I bought this roller for $3K and I'll break it. Thanks for Vicky for the awareness. Good one. But he's wearing this AI picture. Can you see his face is rounded? And he's wearing the hand of the Zeiger of the wrong hand. But that's nice. I just did.
And they'll get, the idea will be brought in front of you two with matching grants of $10,000 each to invest in their idea. If it's a good idea.
Is this Shark Tank?
I don't know.
Here.
Maybe we'll see. But they'll send you ideas. I think it's a great idea. People need to come up with their ideas.
Because I got 1,000 ideas for B'Sefer Chaim.
Yeah.
Ideas if someone's willing to do something about it.
Yeah. No.
Ideas are cheap. I don't want to hear any more ideas. You have a solution.
Anybody has an idea? The
Not for
ideas
someone else, for you.
Right, you do it. And you don't have to look at your friend or neighbor. And
Jetzt sucht man darf ich kicken auf die Freunde und Neighbor? Die hast gekauft der Zeiger, wenn du was gewähnen an einer Island Alliance?
don't look at me.
No.
Just get up and do something about it.
I agree. Well, thank you, Shmuley Hartstein and Moshe Alpert. Again, for those who do need financial planning, they can even call you, Ceramian Financial. I work with you on finances in the past, and it's a good option. Or if you live somewhere else, you can reach out. The point is, grab a hold of your financial plan, of your budget.
Okay, so kijk je nose down, want we mag staan doen advertisements. So, mijn take is also, ze doen als Sache wie humans, in betreit heranzufitten. Jeder einer will heranfitten. Jeder einer will sagen, cool. Jeder einer will attention. Jeder einer will have a good life. Und das ist eine Sache in maintenance. Das ist eine Survival-Sache. In ze zoeken voor een mens die guys zijn gegen de storm, it doesn't work that way. Rauf mensen kennen niet aan gegen de storm. You pay the price. En jeder einer wil machen schadigen met zijn kinderen. Everybody wants to live a good life. En wat darf geschehen? De mensen die spearheaden, die alle mischen gassen, they have to stop doing it. Zij darfen sagen, you know what, I will not do it. I will not make a crazy wedding. Ich will nicht machen man Kussen kalla rukim auf in der Dach. Ich will nicht tun a Truck, wo sie heranbringen Bier bei der Gassene. Ich will nicht spenden. In jeder eine hat keine Kapien. That's it. Simple. En pimple. In Ooget, geben education für Kinder. Unheiben de education redel, wenn man ist jing. Financial planning, wenn man ist jing. Sollen wissen, wie es Geld meint, wieso man macht Geld, wieso die Geist machen Geld, wie die Geist leigen Geld, was heißt der Geist zurückkommen von deinen Investments, in leaving it more to their hands, making the kids more capable. Nicht schicken ein Kind in eine Yeshiva für 8 Uhr, in gut nicht kennen. Einfach kennen tun. Smoking cigarettes, machen Coffee, and avoiding tests. That's all. And that's crazy. So, yeah. All right. What a heated Gita situation this was. Yeah. I actually enjoyed it. Geef maar like the video because I enjoyed it. Redden ik van likes, get by hit the like button. Adi beshen do. It really helps out the algorithm and it makes other people, get this content. Alright, Gevre. Zie je met de staat met afzeggen gezegd en met afzoeken goodbye. Ze kan niet easy, no matter how many times I try. But I gotta do it. We'll get my score for alle likers, shares, commenters, subscribers. And especially members. Van Duzan, van Naros helfen, van Hitten. Die wilst... Oh, nou, a special thank you for Levi Lesson. Thank you, Levi. Van geben, zit je spät alles geht. Van geben a super chat. This is what keeps the channel going. Die wist Naros helfen the channel. Kannst du gehen, see the link, was ich gepost oben. Buy me a coffee. I said I'll read the comments. All right. If I said it, let's go. Okay. Ich will suchen, the machine soll es leinen.
I have to say that I sadly agree. As a single parent of 3 girls, with only one income of just under $100,000 a year, plus $750 a month in child support, it's been hard. While raising my children, I've had to say no to my children when they were just asking for the things that all their friends have. I never wanted to make my children feel poor, but I also didn't want to go into debt. If not for the extras I've been blessed to receive through family, friends, my shul, I would have never been able to make it through all these years. I married off one daughter with a Tukana wedding, and still had to borrow, and accept tzedakah from PPL, still have 2 daughters to marry off, and I pray Hashem sends what I will need at the time that I need it.
Just imagine they come by with their man chart. Just imagine. Tuition is an issue because every single school feels they need $40 million building. $40 million building. Great. And jede building is donated. So weiß ich pinklich wie sie arbeiten, wie sie support. But my personal housing is the biggest issue. I live in Canada. Jewish community and infrastructure only exist in large cities. I became an observant Jew. Oh, this is an eigen problem. Wenig kan observant Jew. What could I tell you? Hearten for the win. The truth hurts. I commend everyone for speaking about this very important topic. All right? Basically, the oilam is do zusammen as se do pain. Kijk hoeveel kamen se do. Se do pain. It sounds like the values are messed up. Not Toyota values, which I agree. Ik saw 35 likes. The oilam sagt das sind nicht Toyota values. Man sagt der ganze Stück Toyota. Und oilam ist nicht, wie heißt das? Eine schreibt, the Baruch Hashem in Israel just hosted a seminary girls who told me their tuition is $35,000. I do not believe that their parents are getting enough for their money. Crazy, $35,000. Agreed. We are large families truly trying to live within our means. We are trying to move forward from all things like camp. Just living just like the Orthodox. It's totally unsustainable for us. Yeah. Shoshana, I feel you. All right. When ich also get in line on yet, ich bin mit, so we're going to cut it there. But thank you all for being here. I really do appreciate it. Goodbyes. So housekeeping, morgen 8:45 live in the free. So we'll see you all there. Die willst aushalten the channel, willst heraushelfen the channel, kannst schicken oder a Superchat, oder kannst du ganze Buy Me a Coffee /Viggy Vibes, oder kannst du schicken a Superchat, see Viggy Vibes, QuickPay, see ViggyVibes@gmail.com. So, it helps out the channel, you know what I'm saying? This is, keep the channel going, this is nicht, ich mach kein Geld davon, weil ich watch andere Menschen's videos, and yeah, it really helps out the channel. Levi, especially thanks to you. But I gave my super chat. I really do appreciate it. It means a lot. Thank you everybody that liked it. I hope you guys enjoyed it because at the end of the game, it's mainly entertainment. All right. I'll talk to you later. And until next time, stay kind to one another. Peace.